Evening. Welcome to Football Heritage TV. I hope you all managed to clean your cars, tidy the house in that intro. Hope that was enough time for you to do what you needed to do. I am joined by three excellent people, and Perchy is here as well. So let me start. I jest, of course. Staffy, how you doing, man? You good?
I'm doing well, bro. How are you?
Good. Listen, I'm good knowing that my club's in turmoil, but that your club might spend about 80 million on Mason Mount. That makes me feel a little bit better inside. So we'll come to that in a bit. Don't worry, you can have your own dig back at Spurs.
That's an early dig at me. Okay.
Listen, I'm a Spurs fan. Whatever you throw at me, I'll just go, yeah. It doesn't hurt me. Albert J TV. Albert, how are you, my man? You well?
I'm good, man. I needed more time to do some hoovering, Savva, for the intro, man. Come
on. Did you need more time to go and find some more bottles? You know,
I was just reading the autobiography about Tottenham winning the FA Cup in 1991. Just covering the dust off of it.
Just a few pages long, was it? Just a few pages.
Very much so.
Perchy, I jest, of course, one of my favourite people. How are you, mate? How's Barcelona?
I mean, in the time of your intro, I got a haircut, so it's all good.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like they've given you a Kim Ying Ong or whatever his name is, isn't it? Like you've got the old. Do you know what I mean? You're getting on there, and then
I'll be honest, yeah.
One of my favourite people, it's Brian Clough. I mean, it's Dave Asprey from Nottingham Forest. How are you, Dave? You all right?
I've just about got over the tiredness from the party at Palace last week, and I was in a really, really good frame of mind. And then Albert mentioned the 1991 FA Cup final. So.
Sorry, Dave. What I should have said, when Savva was talking about the intro, what goal you should put in, I was going to say to him, the Wiltord won at Old Trafford because it went on to win a league title. So I wanted to tell Savva.
No, I'm
Savva,
good.
please for me, Savva, come on.
Yeah, and do you know what? I'm looking here and thinking that Perchy looks a little bit like a younger version of me. So God help him in the years to come.
There he is.
Look at that.
There he is.
The king of chins.
Absolutely. Guys, look, first of all, welcome to everyone in the chat. Big up, welcome. Happy Tuesday evening, or depending where you are in the world, it could be Wednesday morning, I suppose. I don't know. One of those things. Guys, lots has happened in football in the last week. Like loads has happened. Like the whole of the Premier League is being sold to Qatar and Saudi Arabia. Everyone's moving for like £100 million a season. Kante, they've just announced is going out there. There's now reports tonight that a club has come in and is bidding for Hong-Min's son of Tottenham Hotspur. Benzema's gone there. I believe Will Zaha is in conversations to go out there as well. Messi's got, I believe, a 400 million a year deal, which has now been upgraded to 1 billion over 2 seasons. 1 billion. And yet his dad is saying, no, he wants to come back and play for Barcelona. Barcelona are crapping themselves because they can't get him on because they need to sell players. It's all happening. Spurs have got a new manager. Man United are buying Mason Mount for about £80 million. Man United didn't turn up in an FA Cup final. What else has happened? What am I missing, people? Anything else happened last week?
You're getting Harry Maguire. We should mention that one.
Boom! He's got the little digging. Yeah, lots of leaks and reports. So let's just talk some football. Let's talk some football, guys. Where to start? What I wanted to do. I don't normally start with Tottenham-related stuff, but I feel like we have won the news headlines today. Surely let us have that, right?
We'll give you that, Savva.
Right. Thank you. Cheers. Yeah, we've won. We've won the stories headline today. So Spurs have signed a new manager. Lots of Spurs fans. Perchy, I'll come to you last because obviously you are a Spurs fan. Lots of Spurs fans, Staffy, Albert and Dave, really upset. Really upset. Oh, my God, he's from Scotland. Oh, my God, he's Australian. Oh, my God, he can't do it in the Premier League. This is terrible. At the same time, we're all looking over the road at Brighton going, oh, God, we admire them so much. They got a manager no one had heard of, and they found all these players who were like 3 or 4 million. But when it happens to us, we don't quite like it. In your mind, taking all kind of competitor hats off, I'll start with you, Dave. Postecoglou, If you're looking from the outside in, is that a good appointment for Tottenham Hotspur?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's. You know, some of you touched on two of my bugbears about the Tottenham reaction to Ange Postecoglou. Is he's come from the Scottish Premiership, so therefore he's not good enough. He's Australian, so therefore he's not good enough. So these the petty snobberies that are just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. When he went to Celtic Football Club, Eddie Howard turned them down. Nobody wanted to touch Celtic with a barge pole at the time. Sound familiar, Tottenham fans? And he took an absolute mess at Parkhead. And after a slow start, he basically completely turned them around. He came in at a time when Rangers had just won the league and were looking like they were set to dominate for a few years. And he's taken a very difficult job that I guess a lot of people at the time would have said to him, don't go to Parkhead. That's a poison chalice. He turned that poison into nectar. And what he's done at Celtic has been absolutely fantastic. You know, of course, the league isn't as competitive as the one here. But why can those really good traits and themes not be taken from that into this? He's no nonsense. He's calm. He's composed. He's an extremely intelligent man. And I think it's an excellent appointment. The way I would look at it is if Steve Cooper were to leave Nottingham Forest and Ange Postecoglou had been, if you like, the next cab on the rank, I'd have been more than happy with that. I've been suggesting him when I've been on the shows during the season and people are getting rid of managers. You know, like Leicester were on about getting rid of Rodgers and Southampton were on about getting rid of Ralph and all this business. Postecoglou was the name that kept coming up to me. My only surprise, before I let the other guys speak, is that, you know, and I'm going to be a bit sardonic maybe, I didn't think he would leave a club that was automatically Champions League group stage next year to go to a middling, dysfunctional, middle of the table team. So that's the only thing I would say. But I think Ange is a no-nonsense guy. I think he'll level with the Tottenham players. I'll be very interested to see if he brings that enclave of Japanese players that was so good for him at Celtic to Tottenham.
Yeah,
Kyogo,
Kyogo, yeah.
Rio Hatate, Dejan Maeda. You know, people would again say they can't do it in the Premier League because they're from Japan. You see, where Tottenham supporters looking in from the outside have to get a little bit more perspective is don't talk of yourselves in the same breath as Real Madrid, Manchester City, Liverpool, Manchester United. You are a club now, I'm afraid to have to say this, it may not have occurred to you, you're a club without Champions League this year, without European football. And you are actually in that clutch of teams, of which Nottingham Forest, Crystal Palace, West Ham, and I mean, West Ham have got a European final tomorrow night. So maybe that, you know, Tottenham have just got to change their line of sight.
Yeah,
I think Ange Postecoglou is a good guy, and the only reason Ange Postecoglou won't be a good guy is if people don't get behind him, and that's not his fault. He'll go in, he'll do an honest job, you know. So I think it's a good appointment, Sav, and I think Ange is a good guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Someone said there was no sound. Hopefully there is sound. I'm hoping that the person that told him to unmute his own headphones is probably correct. I'm hoping that is it, rather than there was no sound coming from us. Albert, one of the things being, and by the way, this is absolutely true. Some bloke has said it's a YouTube sensation. Dave Asprey, he is.
Is that Paul Hogan or Dave? Paul Hogan or Dave? They both.
This is a picture of Dave 40 years ago. Like, Albert, one of the things being levelled. Is obviously that he's never done it in a big European country. But in your opinion, do you think if you're the right man and you've got the right man management skills and you understand the game of football, why is it imperative that you must have done it over here? And I'll back up this question with this, Albert. If you look at a lot of managers that Spurs fans are either praising or wanted, lots of them are saying Thomas Frank, who was Brentford's assistant manager before that, managed like in the Denmark youth setup over in Denmark, right? You've got Gary O'Neill, who people are going, oh, surely we talk about him for manager of the season. Never managed in his life. Arteta had never managed in his life. Eddie Howe, he's only done it at Bournemouth. I'm sure there's probably a couple more floating around as well. But it just seems to me that Spurs fans want to have their cake without realizing that Spurs can't afford it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Dave's kind of echoed a lot I was going to say in terms of I've spoken about snobbery amongst them. A lot of Premier League fans of clubs, should I say? It's nothing new. Players, managers. I've got to be honest. I mean, even sort of taking it back a little bit, Savva, it's off subject, but it is kind of on subject. When David Ornstein sort of sent the tweet out, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? Some Arsenal fans that I know were quite, how can I put it? Quite sarcastic, should I say, in terms of the appointment. And I said, hold on a minute. Some of you guys, right, who are very, very up Mikel Arteta's you know what, knowing he had never managed before. I said, be very, very careful how you sort of look at somebody. At the end of the day, listen, he's managed in the countries that he's managed in. If anybody watches sport outside of football, Australians are a tough individual team sport. They're a tough breed, man. Don't mess with them. They know about winning mentality. So if you can absorb some of that in your trail of thought and your thinking, you might just give your new manager a bit of a chance. Listen, it's a big thing. I've got one of my mates who's a Aussie gooner. He said, look, this is a big thing for an Australian guy to come into the Premier League, man. It's massive. So listen, he felt he could take the plunge by leaving Celtic, and he's done very, 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 very well in the 2 years he's been there. He even said it after the cup final he won on last weekend. He said, look, let's make no bones about it. When I was appointed here at Celtic, it was seen as a joke appointment. And that's quite enlightening to hear from him, because football's you're allowed to change your mind sometimes, Savva. And what I say to some of the Tottenham fans is, and this is not me being an Arsenal fan, by the way, it's just the observation of what I've seen in terms of the reaction. Give someone a chance, let them get through the door, let them have an imprint on the team, let them get their ideas in, let them bring in the players that they can bring in before you start making sweeping statements and being quite, let's have it right, being very disparaging about a guy who's actually got a winning mentality and has won trophies. Yes, it's in Scotland, but to be honest, Savva, I don't care. Give the guy a chance.
Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, Staffy, one of the things that makes me laugh, and I can already predict this, and I think Perchi will probably back me up on this. I've said to everybody that will listen that next year shouldn't be a year where we're worried about where do we finish in the league. It shouldn't be a year about, are we going to win a trophy, because we're miles away from these things. The next year should be, right, can we build a team that resembles something that I don't want to say to be proud of, but can we build a team that resembles something like a cohesive 11, right? The defense actually knows how to defend. The midfielders can actually get back, get forward, and the forwards actually have a pattern of play. But I've got this feeling, Staffy, that the moment this guy loses a couple of games, and if we take a hammering from one of the bigger boys, I get the feeling Spurs fans will turn very, very quickly and want this man out within a couple of months. From your experience of seeing how we are as fans, do you think that's true, or do you think we'll have patience?
No, I agree with you 100%, and I feel like that will happen. And it gives me flashbacks because one of the managers you guys didn't mention, and it applies for him very well, was Erik ten Hag. When you look at his managerial CV, aside of Ajax, who you can argue, like, in their league, they're kind of like how Celtic are in England. In Scotland.
Yeah.
His managerial CV didn't really have anyone. Like he before Man United, he managed only 4 teams. He started with Go Ahead Eagles, and if a lot of people don't even know where that team is, it's like a team in Holland. He managed the Bayern second team. And one more team, I don't know how to say their name exactly, but they're also in the Dutch league, Utrecht. So I don't know if that's how you say their name. But aside of Ajax, that was really his biggest job. And people looked at him. I'm pretty sure Yusuf at some point, and a lot of Spurs fans were looking at him, and they were like, wow, why didn't we go with him? He's, an upcoming manager.
I wanted Ten Hag. I
remember he was interviewed by you guys. So when you have a team also like Chelsea who's doing a reset basically this year, because football moves in cycles, okay? Let's all agree. One cycle ends, another cycle starts. We're not all on the same cycle together, but like, let's say you and Chelsea this year, no European competitions. It's a perfect time to reset, which is what Chelsea's doing. I feel like Spurs fans should be wanting the same thing, because the next team that falls off, as I said, want to be the next team up to take their spot. because the minute someone slips like a Liverpool, a Man City, not Man City, they're not really going to slip.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Man United, Arsenal, someone like that.
They're getting relegated next year, Man City. Yeah,
No,
they're getting relegated.
But you know what I mean? You want to be the next team who's like, all right, we've been working on our own thing. We cleared out some of the old deadwood. We brought in new ideas, a new young and upcoming manager. Like you said perfectly, De Zerbi, everyone's talking about De Zerbi. I'll tell you something. If Postecoglou was not Australian, if he was Dutch, Italian, or like from some Latin country, people would be like, wow, look at this guy. But because like Australia's not really respected as a footballing nation, people are saying that. And about what you said about like the first hammering this team is going to get next season, people are going to be out. It reminds you exactly of what happened to Ten Hag. Second game, we lost 4-0 to Brentford, and everyone was just standing there. We're like, wow, did we make the wrong appointment again? And it was only the second game in. Obviously, further down the line, as the season went, people were like, all right, we just panicked at that time. So Liverpool, Spurs fans will do that. They will exactly do the same thing that happened with Ten Hag and the Man United fans and everyone who goes through a recycle. But they 100% need to do what you said. They need to just new manager comes in, new ideas, let him bring in his players. Let's not worry about where we finish next year. Exactly, as opposed to like what's the progress that we're gonna have. That this is kind of like your new Arteta journey that Arsenal had.
Yeah,
that's my opinion on it, honestly.
Absolutely. And just before I come to you, Perchy, we'll go a quick super chat here. Loves music, big up, always a huge supporter of the channel. Was said, your mate Cowlin. He's not my mate. I don't know him. I just think that he's the wrong guy to be going on to Sky Sports and talking about how the Spurs fans feel about anything. I just don't feel it's ever been a true representation. And Sky Sports, unfortunately, would never have someone like me on because I tell the truth and they don't like it. No, mate, Albert, I'd tell the truth. They wouldn't want it. He said, your mate Cowlin just had a Celtic fan on a live stream. I want Ange more than ever now. The love for him at Celtic is unmatched. Yeah, look, they are very upset that he's going. I'm sure they'll be all right when they get Brendan Rodgers back. Just a quick one, and thank you, Loves Music. Just a quick one. Spurs, this always makes me laugh. When I hear there's another project, Savva, we've been patient for 22 years. Two things. First of all, I can't remember when we actually started a project. I don't believe we did under Jose. I don't believe we did under Conte. We just tried to paper cracks. There was no project. There was nothing built underneath. Second of all, we've been patient for 22, 23 years with these owners, but the problem is we are where we are. Whether we're patient or not, we are where we are. We can't just say, oh, I don't want another project. I want to win now. I don't know how that happens. So unfortunately, there's not really a lot we can do about that. And to the comment that said I've caught Levyitis, probably best not telling someone of my age who's been Levy out for 17 years that that they've got Levyitis. Someone who stopped going and giving their money. Perchy, let's put a positive spin on this. We know our fans can be very, entitled. We know what they're like. You'd think that we'd been winning trophies for the last 20 years. What are you excited about from Postecoglou?
I'm excited for just a change of ethos, a change of culture.
Your microphone's not good, mate. Your microphone's gone, just so you know.
Hold on.
Just letting you know.
Is it terrible? Is it not working?
You can hear you, but it's a bit...
I can hear you, but it's...
Better now?
Yes, there you go. We've got you back.
Okay. It was connected to the blooming laptop.
It's all right. We didn't need to know why. It's all right. Didn't ask.
Yeah, positive. All right. Gosh. So positive. No, definitely. Like, I think this is the thing, though. I think you said it earlier, and it says it all. What our fans are so confused. A fan base is so confused because I heard for months, why can't we do what Brighton do? Why can't we build? Why can't we find these hidden gems from all across certain areas of the world? We go and get a manager that literally does that, and then everyone goes, "Oh, he's not good enough for Tottenham. We deserve better. We pay the best price, highest season tickets in world football in the league and stuff." One, doesn't make any difference. If you think we're paying too much money for it, then don't pay it. But you still pay it every single week. So for me, that's a non-argument. But I genuinely just see a genuine It's actually, do you know what? Today's been the first day I've actually gone, do you know what? I'm excited about Tottenham. And I said it to you earlier, Savva. I said, it's the first time for about 4 years I've gone, do you know what? I actually can't wait for us to play. I said earlier on as well, I said, I can't remember the last time I enjoyed watching Tottenham. Genuinely do not remember the last time I sat there and went, do you know what? I enjoyed us today. Because I can't, I mean, I think we worked out probably the 6-1 when we beat Man United at Old Trafford when there was no fans in the stadium under Jose. It was probably the last time I went, wow, what a game of football. But I genuinely see an optimism now. And the optimism is going to be interesting because the summer's going to be amazing, by the way, because we're going to have loads of players going, loads of players coming in. We're going to be the talk on Fabrizio Romano's lips every time he tweets. Spurs are linked with this person. Spurs are doing this. And for me, bring it on. Listen, the people that want him, that think he's going to fail, well, if he doesn't, what are you going to do? You're going to have to. He's the manager now. Nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. And by the way, Fabrizio Romano has just announced that PSG are about to start opening talks with Marcus Thuram. So it looks like Marcus Thuram is going to PSG as well. They've already got Asensio, they've got Ugarte. Now looks like they're getting Marcus Thuram. Looks like they're going down a bit of a different route to what they've gone down before. But guys, let's move away from Tottenham Hotspur because Tottenham Hotspur are something I'm going to talk about for the next 3 months religiously. For the next 30 years.
Quickly,
Yeah,
sorry,
go on,
mate.
mate.
Just one more thing. Like in terms of obviously the Arsenal fan, as you know, Savva, I'm only just over 21. But all I would say to some Tottenham fans is Arsenal got 2 of our greatest managers, one from Millwall, and Arsene Wenger we got from the Goya Grampus 8.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Just
remember,
remember
well said, Albert.
Whose greatest ever player was who, Albert?
Oh, so many. God.
Grampus 8.
I know you're getting at, but no.
Yeah.
In terms of, I know he managed
Gary,
Monaco. I know he managed Monaco.
Gary Lineker.
Yeah.
Gary Lineker.
He's great.
Let's but again, first of all, welcome to everyone in the chat. There's 310 of you in here. Let's go. I never normally get over 200 likes. Let's see if we can smash over 200 likes. That would be really, really good. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Thank you so much. In the last 24 hours, I've had over 158 subs, which is mad. I don't know why. But I have. So thank you. And please go and sub to all of these wonderful people as well. Sub to the Perchy TV, sub to Albert J TV. And Staffy, have you got your channel started yet? You're on mute. I'm guessing I'm going to take that as a no.
I said no, but you can follow me on my socials.
There you go. Follow Staffy on his socials. We'll put them up a bit later. But if you haven't subscribed already, help me get to 5,600 by the end of the night. That's 15 away. Guys, let's talk about I want to talk about Mason Mount. Right, this one is a funny one for me, and it's funny because it's nothing to do with my club, so I'm cool with it. Right, I can relax a bit. I don't want to go in any particular order. We can just have a free for all. Right, it's much more fun when we do that, like we're sitting around in a pub. Mason Mount, they're talking about anywhere between 60 and 80 million, chaps. 60 and 80 million. First of all, the world for me has gone absolutely bananas. Second of all, why are Man U interested in him? And third, if the number starts with a 6, shouldn't Chelsea be snapping their hand off? Anyone can take it.
Well, first of all, I'm hearing it's 50, not 60 to 80. That's the latest news that came out yesterday.
Cool. All right, still 50.
It makes a huge difference for me because, like, first of all, I think everyone on this panel will agree that 60 to 80 is way too much for him. Now, do I think he's a terrible player? No, I don't. Do I think he's the player that Man United needs? No, I don't. And that's the issue. It's because, like, all Man United fans have been talking about, he's better than Fred. He's better than McTominay. He's better than Donny van de Beek. But is that the level that we're looking at right now? Because if we're trying to bridge the gap with the best team in the league, which are City, now, when I look at Mason Mount, does he start for their team? No, because he's not better than Gundogan. He's not better than De Bruyne. He's not better than
any of them.
He's not better than anyone off their bench, you know?
Yeah.
So it's irrelevant to say he's better than Fred because most of us can say, like, there's like 100 players that we can name just like that are better than Fred and McTominay. But here's the thing: the manager wants him, and do I back the manager? Yes, I do back the manager. I don't back him blindly, but I do back him, and maybe he does have a plan. Now, if he's the only marquee signing, well, he's not a marquee signing, but if he's the only midfield signing that we make this summer, then I'll have my own concerns because, I don't think him playing next to Bruno and Casemiro makes this midfield any better. I think it makes this midfield very imbalanced. I don't think he's the right profile to play in that midfield. We needed someone like De Jong last summer, and then we're going for Mason Mount. But they're absolutely two different players.
Steffi, where does for me, like I see Mason Mount not as a centre mid, right? I see him as kind of like a number 10, but without the creative spark, if that makes sense. I see him as kind of just floating around. What do we all think? What do we all think he is?
Chelsea fans told me he's an advanced 8, which is something I've never heard before. No, I swear, I wish I was joking.
What is that?
He's an advanced 8. Which wouldn't that make you a 10?
I mean,
wouldn't that make you a 10, basically?
I don't know, Dave. What did an advanced 8 used to be called in the olden days? A midfielder.
Sorry.
It was called didn't exist because in those days you had an inside left and an inside right, or an attacking midfielder. We're back to these twiddle your thumbs definitions of football. As I played until I was 43, and I kicked the ball with my feet on muddy pitches. I didn't think about football with my thumbs on a bleeding console, right? Let's get away from that nonsense, right? All I would say to Staffy is, right, I mean, I think Mason Mount is a good kid. I think he's quite versatile. I think he's prepared to kind of go wherever a manager puts him. I think he'd be a good squad player at United. But if Manchester United want to be on a par with Manchester City, name me 3 guys in your midfield that are going to put you on a par with what we saw at the weekend, which dominated United. Bar a ridiculous. So I don't think United can go and get 3 as good as what United have got, as what City have got. I really don't. So United are going to have to be a project as well, like Tottenham are, because all right, find 3 as good as De Bruyne, Gundogan, and Rodri, and also the way John Stones played at the weekend. I mean, until that ridiculous penalty, it was the most one-sided cup final I'd seen since they beat Watford 4 or 5 years ago. So where are these players that are going to make Manchester United on a par with Manchester City? Because I don't see him.
Just quickly, Dave, just so you know, Romano has also just tweeted out 30 seconds ago that AS Roma have offered a 5-year deal to Evan Ndicka. Yeah, it does. But I mean, he's just said this. He said AS Roma have offered a 5-year deal to Evan Ndicka to join on a free transfer this summer. Talks ongoing. Hossam Aouar has already signed a 5-year deal with Roma in the last few days. First signing as free agent from Olympique Lyonnais. That's a good signing. Sorry, I know we're going straight. That's a good. We'll come to that in a minute. That's a great signing.
Savva, on the subject of Aouar, right? That's a name I know really well because at the start of last season, go back a year, from now, when that utter ridiculous frenzy at Nottingham Forest sort of started, this kind of lottery balls in a tumbling drum of signings that Forest were going to pluck out. Hossam Aouar was one that a lot of people at Forest wanted, and he looks, from what I've seen of him, he looks a really useful player. So I think if he's going to Roma have got themselves a good player there.
I was going to say, wasn't he the lad that Arsenal were after?
Arsenal wanted him 2-3
years ago.
Didn't they?
Yeah, Arsenal after him.
He fell off because of his injuries and that.
Yeah. So he looks a good player.
Kaz, we were just saying, we'll go back to what we were talking about with Mount, but we were just saying, Kaz, that Roma in talks with Evan Ndicka on a 5-year deal. That's a good signing for them, isn't it?
Say that again, sorry. That was to be apologise.
Daps, either get on the screen or go and make some scrambled egg or something, man. I don't know what you're doing.
He said Daps, either get on the stream or go make some scrambled egg or something, mate.
There's already.
You two live together.
Here he is.
Isn't that lovely? Well, I never knew that. That's just so sweet.
I bet it was sweet at 3:00 on Saturday. I bet it was sweet.
He's making him a cup of tea. How lovely is that?
We'll come to Ndicka lately, but listen, I want to carry on this. I want to carry on this Mason Mount theme. For me, as an outsider, I'm not a Man United fan. I look at your midfield now with the likes of Bruno, Eriksen, Casemiro.
Yeah.
Where do you guys see Mount? I know it's a squad game, but where do you see Mount slotting into that? Like, where does he Who does he get in above? Who's being left out? If it was a first 11, like where does he play for you guys?
To me, I think what's it called? I can't even remember your name now. Staffy, sorry. Apologies. I think he'd agree. He's basically Bruno 2.0, but just a B-Tech version, if we're being totally honest. There's no differences in Bruno's game to Mason Mount's game. They're both quite wasteful. Both decent drivers of the ball as well. You can't deny that. I can't actually, thank you. I can't really say any outstanding qualities that Mason Mount actually really possesses. Like if you look at it, you can tell me 3 things that he's great at. Yeah, proper Chelsea is one of them. I don't know, man. But you know what? He wouldn't, if we were to get another midfielder or 2, like let's say Caicedo. If we were to get another midfielder that requires what the midfield needs, he'd be a great signing if you can get him for something like 50 million. But anything above 50 million, that's a massive L, man. I can't lie to you. He's not a crap player just because he's had a bad year. Doesn't mean he's garbage. He's still very good, but he doesn't excel in anything that I personally want for the team. But clearly, Ten Hag sees the game differently how I want to see the game. So clearly, there has to be a plan. But can the club execute that plan? I don't trust the club to do that for actually Ten Hag either.
He's a finisher, isn't he? That it's kind of like similar with
But that shouldn't be your best attribute as a midfielder. That's
no. I'm not
when
saying
your best attribute as a midfielder is that you're a finisher. It means you're another Bruno. You're a B-Tech Bruno because the first thing you do when you get the ball is you look for a shot. And I don't appreciate midfielders like that. If you want to play in this midfield with Casemiro and Bruno, the number one thing you need to be is good on the ball because Casemiro is not really the best on the ball and Bruno's pretty wasteful. So when you put another wasteful player in there, that just, to me, seems like Casemiro is going to need an oxygen tank next season because he's going to have a lot of running to do to get the ball back. And like Kat said, it's just like that midfield is not even balanced. Now, if you get a Caicedo and a Mount, and Mount is an option off the bench, or he rotates in certain games, then I understand that. But you can't have 2 Brunos in that.
Is this right, Man United fans? Is this right? Man, you're about to fall short?
Remember, we done a stream about, 10 hours ago, right? Or something like 9 hours ago, Savs. I said exactly this. Man United have to hit an English quota or English or homegrown quota. And when you see the likes of potentially Elanga, Scott McTominay, Maguire, Brandon Williams, Axel Transave. Now, I've just named you 5, and there's also Jack Butland on his way out as well. That's 6. He's 6.
Gone. He's gone. He's gone, isn't he?
He's gone.
When we counted up
on loan, anyways,
and I counted up how much the English quota can be done. At the moment, we have like 6 or 7, and obviously there's a couple players on loan that hit the English quota.
Dean Henderson.
He's getting sold.
Get away, you guys. Now, apparently not until we resolve the David De Gea thing. Apparently, so. I look at Matej Kova, one of our youngsters that's been having a tremendous season in the Czech Republic. I think it's for Slavia Prague. I might be wrong. That's one that we can get in. But then it's I think you look at quality in and around of what English players or British players we got. There's barely any, if you were totally honest. Shaw, Rashford, Sancho.
Let me ask, like Albert, from an Arsenal perspective. Obviously, you are the team that finished above Man United, so they'll be chasing you down before they chase down Man City. Does signings like Mount going to Man United, from your point of view, does that scare you? Like, does that make you think, oh my God, Man United have gone for it? I'm not saying that's all they're going to do, but for me, if I was an Arsenal fan, I'd be looking and thinking, all right, he's not really better than what they've got. Like, I don't know. How do you feel?
Yeah. I was going to say before Staffy jumps in, but I was going to say in terms of
my bad, bro.
He's a finisher. What I was going to say is it's similar to kind of, I don't know, Savva, you might disagree in terms of, I always just think with Dele Alli, if he doesn't score, what else does he bring to the team?
I massively agree with you about Dele Alli.
And that's the thing with Mason Mount. Like Cassidy, he's not an awful player because like you said, he's had a season where he's completely fallen off a cliff. I think he was 2 seasons ago now, technically, where he's double figures in both goals and assists. But I don't know what's happened. I don't watch Chelsea week in, week out. But in terms of where probably Man United want to be as Cass fans and as a Staffy are, Mason Mount is not really what. I was quite surprised Cassie was even linked to United, to be honest. I don't know where that came from.
Do you know how many open play assists he's got since his career started in Chelsea?
Oh, please tell them, yeah.
Go on.
Have a wild guess, please. I want Dave.
the Premier
Have
League.
a
Premier
good
League.
guess.
What,
Yeah,
Premier League?
all of them. Oh, how many open players does Mason Mount have? Have a guess.
What was the question? Sorry.
How
I'll
many?
just say 50 random off the top of my head.
How many open play assists
50.
does Mason Mount have in his career?
In the Premier League or in total?
In total in Chelsea?
17.
Less.
I was going to say about 12.
Less.
What?
One.
Not more, obviously.
So it's open play. So it's okay. So literally, we're just
Open play.
counting free kicks and corners.
Right.
And penalties.
Yeah,
Open play, anything that's open play.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, I don't think corners count as open play. I don't believe.
No, corners don't count as open play.
Yeah. We're talking 9.
9.
9. This is what 9. Look, LFC for the double
terrible.
9.
I didn't think it was that bad.
Bad. That's awful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
But you guys shouldn't be surprised because I made a point. I forgot whose channel I was on the other day, and I made a point. I was like, when you look at the strikers that played with Mason Mount, now actually look at the strikers that Chelsea's had the last 3-4 years. Is there any name just off the top of your head like that where you're like, wow, they had a great season, and you're not gonna find anyone?
No, that's true. That's true.
The main thing is they've starved for goals. People like Lukaku and Tammy Abraham, they're not really that bad of strikers. I don't remember every striker that had the last 4 or 5 years, whatever it's been. But there's a reason why no one has made a name for themselves in Chelsea, and it's because of the supporting cast. And who's been the common guy in that midfield playing behind them is Mason Mount. So we're already a team that struggles for goals, and you're giving me a guy that has 9 open play assists in however long his career has been.
But
We're actually allergic to midfielders that are technically good on the ball. We're actually so allergic as a club. I don't know what's ever since.
hang on. Hello. Let me introduce you to Tottenham Hotspur.
I'm
you
not
kidding me?
Basuma is already more technical than our whole midfield.
What? Ericsson?
No. So
Yeah, Eriksen is the guy.
Eriksen's great. Don't get me wrong, but I'm talking about a ball retentive player. Basuma is it? We don't have them players. We haven't had that since Michael Carrick, since Paul Scholes. You get what I mean? It's crazy that how allergic this club. They love stiff midfielders, whether you like it or not.
But in fairness, though, if Mason Mount does join you and he's threading through balls to your new striker signing that is Wout Weghorst, then you've got a lot of goal assist combinations coming from those two.
That was a low blow. Savva, that was a low blow, man.
Yeah, even Cass was laughing.
I might have to start calling you a kitty hole.
I'm going to get in as many digs as I can because when Spurs sell Harry Kane,
when you get Harry Maguire,
When you got Maguire, we're gonna be on you.
Right,
When you got Maguire.
oh god, we're going to sign Harry Maguire.
I'm not having the Maguire stuff.
Savva, sorry. When that came through, what was your first thoughts, man, about the Maguire?
I don't believe it. Listen. I look at the way that Postecoglou plays. I look at Harry Maguire in a back four, and I just think to myself, surely when you announce yourself to a new club, you're not going to go, "Hi guys, I'm here. Trust me. Trust the process." His offer signing, it's Harry Maguire. I just
I'm
can't.
going to use your words against you, by the way. No play's really crap like that. He's just been in a bad situation.
Someone watched my show with Premsy, did you? That was a great argument, wasn't it?
Savva needs to tell me about that, Savva.
But what's it called?
It's all right. Me and Premsy have been talking. It's all good.
Can I give you a reason why this could work out, right? It could.
Harry Maguire?
Because we always talk about Tottenham need to know their level, right? And we need to talk about.
He's trying to flog a dead horse.
Wait. Hear me out. Yeah. You're on a project at the moment. You're on project. If it is a project with the manager you've got, you are at literally square one, whether you like it or not. What kind of players can Tottenham attract in this day and age, knowing that they've got now a reputation?
A young, hungry centre half, not Harry Maguire.
I think you can go get someone potentially like Ndika who's on a free. I think you can go get that. But when we talk about
he's joining Roma.
We just had.
Wait, what? Is he going Roma?
He's joining Roma. We just had this conversation about 5 minutes ago.
I didn't even know that. Look, I didn't check the news recently.
Hang on. I'll tell you what. Here you go. Just for you. Have a look at this. Hopefully you can see that.
Yeah.
There we go. Look.
Yeah.
Romano, 14 minutes ago. Roma have offered a 5-year deal.
Wow. That's it.
I'll tell you what, just off topic, if you think about it, if they get Undercar on a free, they'll have got him on a free.
Under who?
Evan Undercar. I think that's how you pronounce it, isn't it? It's Undika, isn't it? Not Indika. I'm not sure. Anyway, if they get him on a free, Auer on a free, they got Dybala on a free last year. Did they get Wijnaldum on a free?
Yes.
Did
They
he
got
go on
Wijnaldum on a free.
No, I think he went on loan.
That's how you get some business in it.
Can I give my reason? Can I give my reason around why Maguire could make?
Oh my God, no! Go on. Yeah, let's hear it.
Why I say this shit? You've got new forms of players that obviously are coming through. Look, Jed Spence has got good legs around him. Christian Romero, I know he's a bit hasty, but good legs around him, right? Left back, you got Udici coming in, great legs around it. Like I'm just saying, you got Basuma in front of him, good leg. Like if you look at the Leicester, I'm thinking about Leicester's team a little bit when he was there. What he had around him, like the Chilwells. I don't know, they played a bit more of a low block as well, but he had a lot of legs in and around him that would work. And Angie's teams work. Go look at the Celtic team; they work a lot. Harry Maguire can play ball. I'm just saying, even though it might not be a manager signing, it could be the club signing that they want. And I'm just saying.
Can I just ask a question? And hear me out, okay? And
Savva, he's winding you up. You don't bite to him. He's taking the piss. Look at him. Look at him.
I want the hypothetical people to get into that.
Yeah.
Imagine
Maguire is going to Sheffield United. That's where he's going.
Imagine Harry Maguire next to Christian Romero. What a car crash of a back two, by the way.
God.
He's
a car crash.
No, he's in England. It's like Savva would say. He's an England international and all that.
No. Listen. I said Harry Maguire for me would be decent in a back three when the two players either side of him are very quick. So when he plays in a back three for England, he has Carl Walker on the right side of the three and John Stones on the left. Yeah. Two very good ball-playing fullbacks. With play. Mate, if he plays in a two with Romero comes charging out. That means they'll put the ball over the top and we've got Harry Maguire on the half turn trying to track back. It'll be like...
Listen, you have Eric Dyer doing that already. So might as well take Maguire. Maguire's better.
They're upgrade, isn't he?
So why are we going to go from Dyer to Maguire?
With another catastrophe.
Dyer to Maguire.
I'd rather get Cameron Carter-Vickers back.
You might play a back three and use Jed Spence, who's a wing back, and Udici's also a wing back.
I don't think he plays a back three, does he?
Who said he might not try new things?
I want to see that.
The Harry Maguire stuff isn't happening, and all it is his agent trying to stir up interest from other clubs.
Matt Law confirmed it, by the way. So
but these people, they confirm what? What do they confirm? The agent
quite good with it when it comes to the London clubs, Chelsea, Tottenham.
Who's that? Matt Law. He's a Chelsea fan, isn't he, Matt?
You've got to remember, like these agents also speak to these journalists. These agents are trying to stir up. Harry Maguire's trying to get the best deal he can.
It's like you're trying to convince yourself more than convince.
It's not coming. It's not happening. Trust me.
You're convincing yourself.
I stand by Ange. He does not want a Harry Maguire.
Maguire.
You lot be in denial.
If you'd have watched Celtic this year, Harry Maguire would not have fitted into Celtic's team on any occasion this year. Yeah. Even if they were away to Ross County, even if they were away to Dundee United, Harry Maguire would not have got in ahead of Starfelt or Iwata or anybody else. So I see Harry Maguire as being Burnley, Luton, Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest, Sheffield United, something of that ilk. Because I think he's not that good anymore. Honestly.
Dave, we're trying to make a sale here, so don't block our business. We're working hard over here, and you just come in and ruin all the hard work.
Yeah, but you lads know. You Manchester United lads know the perception of Maguire that is going round. Maguire was mentioned in connection with us, and all the Forest fans I know going, "Oh God, we don't want that."
This is my granddad talking, by the way. I can't believe it.
Do you know what? Can I make a case which would be a perfect club for him, and I'm sure we can all agree.
Go on.
Right, Sheffield. West Ham.
I said that as well.
Actually, that's a shout.
West Ham United, not only because they've got the worst fan base in the world, and I really hope the best man from my wedding is watching this. West Ham deserve that. West Ham deserve that. Do you know what I do? I take a gird from them and let them have Harry Maguire, right? Maguire and Kurt Zouma, the cat kicker in the same back four. I'll take that.
Would that be the cat amongst the pigeons? That'd be the cat amongst the pigeons, would it not?
Slabhead and cat kicker. I mean, it's got a good ring.
I used to watch that on CBeebies. That was on CBeebies.
Dave, when you were young, there was no such thing as CBeebies. Who are you trying to kid, mate? What?
No, Dave, it's more Cagney and Lacey, mate. That's what it is.
Starsky and Hutch and all that, don't he?
Yeah, Kojak.
Starsky and Hutch was great.
But it is worrying, guys. It is worrying that link has. Listen, I'm not giving it. I will worry when I see Romano or Ornstein say something along the lines of Spurs to commence conversations with Harry Maguire. I will crap myself.
It's happening.
Oh, God.
That's all I know.
We'd have to come on and say Kaz was right all along. Can you imagine the step that we'd have to take?
I don't think in all the months I've known Kaz, I don't think he's been right about anything he said. I'm just saying.
I said we're going to get 4. I said not in the forest to survive. I think you're comfortable.
Yeah. He did. To be fair, he did. Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Another Savva L, man. Come on, man.
Oh my God. Oh yeah. Listen, I've just got to take it and own it. Look, other conversation we've got going on. Moises Caicedo, right? Moises Caicedo is a funny one because this man seems to have been put on this. I'm not doubting him. He's a very good player, but all of a sudden he's gone from this £4 million signing like 2 years ago to everyone wants to fight it out for like this 80-90 million pound central midfielder. Now, if anything tells you how ridiculous the football transfer market is,
crazy.
It is that. But A, is he that good, guys? And B, where is the best destination for him? Is it Chelsea? Is it Arsenal? Is it going to be somewhere else? Could he end up somewhere else, like a Man United? I don't know. Where's this guy going?
The honest opinion.
Go on.
And I hate to say it, it's Arsenal, isn't it? Let's be honest. They are.
I thought you were going to say Spurs. Spurs.
Yeah, like let's be honest, because we're going to attract an £80 million player. I'd love him at Spurs. What a football player, by the way. But I hate to say it, he makes that Arsenal midfield so much better, doesn't it? Let's be honest. Like,
Perch, you know what it is? It's like when the transfer window does actually open. That's quite a key thing. Some Arsenal fans, they've got into a bit of a meltdown, crazy. But it depends what we're gonna do, mate, in terms of what they're prepared to spend, because he's copped a lot of stick already. Edu's he's copped a lot of stick since he's come to Arsenal, to be honest, from a section of our fan base. But he's not allowed to go on holiday or have a barbecue. He's not allowed to do anything other than just. No, it's crazy, Persia. Honestly, you'd be shocked what you see. But it's what Arsenal were prepared to do. So obviously, we probably annoyed Brighton a little bit in January. We've been trying to go for the bid after they point blank told us no. But it's viable, man. I think with the Chelsea one, it'll be purely they'll probably try and hijack us again, which they did before.
Albert, let me add on to this. Chelsea just missed out on Ugarte. When we say missed out, I don't know what's going on there, but they've missed out on Ugarte. They desperately need midfield reinforcements because Loftus-Cheek is going. It's Kante, Loftus-Cheek, Kovacic, Mason Mount, all going. Right.
Allegedly. Mason Mount.
Well, okay, allegedly Mason Mount, but the fact that they're willing to sell him, right? Look, even if Mason Mount stays, that's 3 centre mids going. Yeah. 3 centre mids going with good engines as well. When you look at Loftus-Cheek, Kovacic,
and Havertz is going as well, is he not?
Havertz is on his way.
Havertz is going. So do you feel like this could be a little bit of a repeat, Albert, of the January transfer window where Chelsea just go, what's Arsenal's final off? Yeah, we'll give you this, and they take Caicedo. You worry?
I hear what you're saying. I hope it's not for a section of our fan base, because I think most of them will have heart attacks, to be honest with you. But it's a tricky one, because if you go by, if you believe what players say, apparently probably through their agents, let's just throw out the typical cliche line: playing Champions League football. We've got that. We've got that for next season coming up. So people talk about how that's such a big pull, and obviously coming to London and the rest of it. Then it could happen. It could happen. But again, like I said, it depends what I said to Perchy. It just depends in terms of how far are Arsenal prepared to go in terms of to try and land their number one target?
Yeah, I was just thinking one
thing.
thing.
Linked with.
The one thing I would worry though, I was just thinking, and I just thought this because I was just reading some stuff earlier today. The one thing Chelsea have got that Arsenal necessarily don't have is a bit of leverage because Brighton really want Levi Colwill. And
Yeah, I'll say
it wouldn't shock me if
50 million plus Colwill.
Yeah, Colwill for £40 million, and we'll pay £40 million, and you can have Colwill £40 million for Caicedo. It's the sort of thing I could see sort of Chelsea conjuring up some sort of deal like that, which in a sense, because I think £80 million for him, however much I think he's an amazing football player, I don't know if it's good value. You'll only know if it's good value probably in 5 years' time, if that makes sense.
It's crazy, Savva, because you can only go by what you see in it. He's only been in what Brighton for what season? That's the season.
Let's have a look.
1.5.
Let's have a look how many games he's played for Brighton and Hove Albion. So what is he, a midfielder, right? So Brighton, Moises Caicedo, right? So Moises Caicedo. Okay, so he played 2 games for the Brighton under-23s last season and 8 senior appearances. So 8 games in the Premier League. And this year he's played 37 games. So what we're saying is in 45 appearances, he's gone from a £4 million signing to 90 odd or 80 odd, whatever he's going to pay for.
Yeah, it's crazy.
45 games, he's got everyone after him. Now, one thing I wanted to bring up with you guys is when I was doing the filming with William Hill, there was a really good argument that broke out between the Chelsea fan, big up Charlie, and the Arsenal fan, right?
Johnny Cochran was it? Yeah, Johnny.
Yeah. And the argument was this: they were talking about Moises Caicedo and Declan Rice. So the Arsenal fans going, nah. I'm telling you, we're going to get both. We're getting Rice, we're getting Caicedo, we're going to spend 170 million on them, and then there'll be like another 130 million where we go and buy loads of squad players. And the Chelsea fan turned around and said, I don't care if you're in the Champions League this year. We are still a more attractive pull at Chelsea than you are at Arsenal. Guys, discuss. Is 1 year out of Champions League for Chelsea, does that make Arsenal more attractive for 1 year versus the pool that Chelsea have with the amount of money and their last 20 years of history?
Go on, Dave.
Take Pochettino out of it, right? No. I went to Chelsea 3 weeks ago, and it's the most soulless, quiet, empty. It's like a Lego stadium. There was a Forest. It felt like a Forest home game, right? And we should have won there, right?
Yeah.
But you add Pochettino. So no Pochettino, then if I'm a player, personally speaking, I'm going to Arsenal rather than Chelsea. They can offer me Champions League football. And this season there's been a better atmosphere at the Emirates. You know.
Dave, one season, right? It's one season of that. I'm playing.
But I tell you what, no, Savva, you're right. It's one season, mate. But it seems to me like the malaise is set in. It looks like it's going to take. I think Chelsea's project actually could be longer than Tottenham's.
Oh, don't be silly.
I do. Honestly, I really do.
No way.
They've got some good players. Listen, they're about to sign someone like a Rice or a Caicedo. They've got Nkunku joining in about 3 weeks.
Right.
Yeah,
they're gonna spend big on a goalkeeper. They're gonna buy a centre forward. They've got players like Enzo Fernandez, Chilwell, James, Badashile, Fofana. I think they'll be just fine.
Savva, I'll get
they need a striker like Savva.
Yeah, Savva, I get the question, but you know what it comes down to for me personally speaking. Football fans.
You're an Arsenal fan?
No, not because of that. Not because of that. No, not because of that. It's football fans are very good at changing the narrative.
Sure,
they're very good at doing that.
That's the context, Albert, aren't we?
Yeah, there you go, and that's what I'll say to that. Yeah, they are. I get what the Chelsea fans saying, but you could flip that the other way around.
We forget one thing as well, yeah. So you know who Man United's apparently a second list is as well after Mason Mount if that falls through, which Chelsea don't want to negotiate if it's not 70 million talking.
Dele Alli.
No, it's actually Caicedo as well. And his whole family and him are Man United fans, and I think that will take a lot. It's a bit like Partey because his family were Arsenal fans. Yeah. There's a big reason why he went to Arsenal, even though they
I'm going to hate to break it to you. makes no difference. Trust me, it won't make a.
Anyways,
When I saw Sol Campbell holding a shirt with Arsene Wenger, told me that all football players do not give a shit.
No,
Trust
but
me,
it's
no,
Perchy, let it
it's
go.
not exactly the
Perchy.
same. It's
Sorry,
not
let it
exactly
go.
the same though.
wrestling me.
Let it go.
No, hold on. This guy's from Ecuador.
I get
Listen,
what
This
Cass
guy's
said.
from Ecuador. So what Cass said is not wrong. My neighbor right
Yeah.
there is Ecuadorian, and they love Man United just
Yeah.
because of having Valencia years ago. They would love to see Caicedo in Man United. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, but
So
no,
him
listen,
saying his
listen.
family's all Man United fans plays a part.
What?
He does play a part.
I'll roll back, by the way, for a second. What happened? What happened in the summer? Or whenever happened? What was Mudryk doing on social media for how long? He was basically saying to Arsenal, "Sign me now,"
Yeah,
and then
Perchy,
went to Chelsea because they
That
offered
was
more
down to
money.
that was down to his club. He wanted to get the most money for his
yeah,
club.
that
because-
is, yeah,
That's
yeah,
a different
yeah,
situation.
exactly.
But my point being is when
Situation.
people say,
How
when
about
people go, "Oh, he's a Man United fan or he's a Chelsea fan,"
No, but
trust me,
What
I
I'm
don't
trying to say
I
is-
don't see
Sorry,
it
Cass,
anymore.
let me land quickly. Sorry,
Go on.
but Percy, you know what it is? Cass, you might agree. Like a lot with the for example, the Scandinavian players like Liverpool, Man United. There's that pool there. Like you mentioned with a lot of the, for example, Nigerian or Ghanaian players. You know, Arsenal. That is a big factor, Percy. It is. It really
Yeah,
is.
of course, things like that. But my point being is that's not for me the selling factor. Does that make sense? Like that,
No, I hear you.
that could be part of it, but there could also
I just think you got the offer to go to Man United. You are the perfect fit of what Man United need. I'm sorry, Caicedo is exactly what Man United need next to Casemiro, a little bit further
100%.
forward and can cover. Right.
So
Man
we've
United-
got Arsenal, Chelsea, and United, right? Now
I think-
you've chucked United's hat in the ring.
No, I would say that the links are
What
there.
about you, Dave?
It
Chucking
depends on
Forest hat in the ring.
No,
Well,
I
we
think-
signed like basically the whole population of the United Kingdom last year. So
I'm
we were
just
hoping to get Harry Kane or like Caicedo. To be honest, I'm
yeah.
staying out of this because you five lads, are on a plane of football that's different to mine. I can't talk to you about Mason Mount and Caicedo at Forest.
You can have
It's
Mount
just
if you
different
want.
game.
We want Caicedo.
Dave,
You
I'll
can
be
take
honest, as a Spurs fan,
I'm
we're closer to Forest than
I'm
we are to the
Tyler
other.
Adams, Kyle Walker-Peters, and that kind of stuff. I am. So
Oh,
you lads get on with it.
All I'm going off is the fact of who's second in the list. If Mason Mount's he's looking like Mason Mount might fail, but then again, it goes towards Man United's budget. Man United are prepared to pay 60 million. I'm pretty sure you can fork out a little bit more to go get another player the other way, and I'm pretty sure they can work out a deal. Brighton, they might want to play off us of some sort. I don't know, man. Alone, I don't know, but you're playing next to Casemiro. The way you can lock down that midfielder more with that defense as well, with a new keeper that can distribute, you're laughing. You're playing next to one of the best.
The only thing I would say about Brighton is this time last year we were all talking about Cucurella, and he's gone. Maybe these guys are just Brighton centric and can't go somewhere else.
Maybe
so
not.
There's this worry about it. You know, Cucurella we raved about Cucurella. He's gone to Chelsea and he just disappeared. And we could be saying the same about Caicedo a year from now. So, you know, Brighton might be.
Who had a good year in Chelsea this year? No one had a good year in Chelsea.
Yeah, I think that's.
I understand what you're saying, but just this specific example, I don't think it's that relevant because everyone has had a bad year in Chelsea this season.
Yeah, but
there's not one signing that went in and hit the ground running.
Remember though, with Chelsea, they've just gone and spent they went and bought like 16 players. Like they were never going to. When people, you've got to remember we talk about players and money and all that lot in football and all that lot. They're individuals. Like there's 16 of them that have just joined out of over 2 transfer windows. Like I don't think anyone in their right mind would have thought that. Oh, there you go. We're going to throw all you together, and now you're going to go and start challenging.
Nottingham Forest did it with 30,
Touche,
and stayed up. You know, which is our goal.
But guys and girls, by the way, I've just put a poll in the chat, and the poll you will see. Let's get as many votes as we can. The question is, where will Caicedo end up? And it's between United, Arsenal, and Chelsea. There's 22 votes so far. I'm going to stop that vote at 11:15. So please get that in. Let's see where people think. But I mean, what a meteoric rise to go from the Brighton B team. 45 games later, you've got Man United, Chelsea, and Arsenal wanting you. But for me, it was a really interesting conversation because, like, Albert, if you know Johnny, who I'm talking about, who's the Arsenal fan, he was just so like animated and like good guy, really good guy.
Yeah,
he was so cool. Animated with like they asked who's the team that's gonna challenge City next year? And he was literally like, well, it's only us, isn't it? And it was like everyone else in the audience went, what? Like, you've got Liverpool and you've got United and you've got, all of these
Savva,
things.
you know what it is? He's a good player, but there's one game that he played last season. I thought, yeah, you know what? I definitely want him at Arsenal. The semi-final against United. I thought he was excellent. He was fantastic.
Yeah. He was very good.
Yeah,
he was very good. But I mean, listen, it would be funny because you've got Moises Caicedo, you've got Declan Rice, and everyone seems to need centre mids. Who else? Where else are these centre mids coming from? Because I don't think James Ward-Prowse is going to quite be at that level.
No,
I don't. I'm just trying to look at midfielders across the league at the moment. Tielemans, I mean, Maddison from a playmaking point of view, sure, but central midfield, I can see it's going to be a dogfight for Rice and Caicedo between three clubs.
Yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't Man United enter the race for Declan Rice as well?
I thought they were.
There's rumours.
I think Declan
there is
Rice
rumours,
would be
but
a
I
better
think
fit at Man United, in my opinion. I think you'd have a great Casemiro and Declan Rice next to each other. I just see there's it's a bit different in a sense. And so I think whereas Caicedo and Casemiro are very similar, like they're not the same, but they've got more similar
not
traits.
Really.
I think Declan Rice next to Casemiro would be not.
Go on.
There you go. 100 million per season.
What
a 2-year deal.
I just done the maths. Do you know how much that is a week?
I don't want to know.
1.9 million a week.
It's just about pay his electricity bill, wouldn't he? Bless him.
That's what Kaz and Daps make on their YouTube channel a week. 1.9 million.
What do you say?
But they're living together in one room. How could they earn that much money? You know what I mean?
Just quickly, there's 322 of you. Vote, please. Can you quickly go to the poll and vote? Only 74 people have. I want a bit more of a wider audience to give that vote. But like guys, is Declan Rice a shoo-in? Like we've talked about him being a shoo-in for Arsenal. It seems like that conversation's been going on for 3 or 4 months. But isn't that? He's a Chelsea boy, right? If you were Chelsea, wouldn't you be thinking, hang on, that's Chelsea captain for the next 5-6 years if he goes there? And if you're United, equally, aren't you thinking, hang on, Casemiro and Eriksen aren't going on forever? That's a Man United captain. Same with Arsenal. Could we see a 3-way fight for both these two players?
Yeah,
I think Arsenal lack more leaders than us, which showed very late in the season. If they had more leaders in that team, maybe they wouldn't have slipped the way they did. And I think this is why I think, not that I'm snubbing Declan Rice, I would still take him, but I think he fits Arsenal more. Whereas Caicedo, back to your point, Pritchie, I mean, you put Caicedo in that number 8 next to Casemiro because we don't play with 2 6s. You put him in that number 8 next to Casemiro, on and off the ball, we're going to look great. Because not only is he good defensively, because he's very physical, he's another version of Kante. But with the ball, he's also amazing.
Very similar, definitely.
And he fits the energy that Ten Hag is looking for in his players. His ball retention is good. On the ball, he's good. He progresses the ball well. He plays in multiple positions too. He played in right back when they needed him, Brighton. So I think he fits us way more than Declan Rice does. Is Declan Rice a great player and would help us? Of course he would. But for what this team exactly needs, I think Caicedo fits us like a glove, and I think Declan Rice fits Arsenal like a glove. You know, starting with the whole leadership thing to the way that just he plays offensively, defensively. I feel like that's what they need more.
Yeah, I agree.
But that's why Maguire's going to fund it when
He's back on the Maguire thing. My dream. I say my dream. I wouldn't mind it if like Chelsea got Caicedo, United got Rice, and Arsenal ended up with neither of them. That would tickle me a little bit.
Of course, it worked for yourself.
It would tickle me a little bit, Albert. Next year, when you're starting the season with El Neni and Vieira in central midfield, do you know what I mean?
No, that's not happening.
So a lot of your fans as well going, we're going to get both of them. By the way, I'll trust me. I saw all of that. That was Arsenal going to get both.
I don't know any Arsenal fans like that, man. They might have said we need both.
Twitter's Twitter, and unfortunately, there are people on Twitter that just haven't got a clue.
But I mean, the thing is, like, people that are saying they're going to get both, it's crazy because they're talking about 90 million for Rice, aren't they? Like 80 million for Caicedo. Off the top of my head, that's 170 million for two central midfielders.
Do it, Arsenal. Do it.
I think
What do you do with the rest of your squad? Like,
no, but I think it's possible though, because I don't think they need any attacking upgrades or any depth there. They've got Balogun, who they're going to sell. They've got Xhaka, who's going to go. Party that might go as well. They've got about 250 apparently of kitty anyways to spend. And if you look at anywhere they need to upgrade, it's probably depth in the midfield for one.
100%.
Right back looks like it might be done already with Pavard potentially anyways. And then a centre back, maybe another cover. And then maybe go
Pavard to what, Arsenal?
Apparently so, yeah. Or Pavard might be going to Liverpool as well. Tomiyasu, you don't know what's going to happen with him. I'm
seeing Cancelo as well, Kaz. I'm seeing Cancelo's name linked to us. I don't like this.
Yeah,
but when you think about it, you think if you want to play with the big boys, you're gonna have to pay the money, mate. If you want to be along with the Man City, you're gonna have to pay that little extra because you can't do deals the way they do, unfortunately. So I look at Arsenal thinking, 90 million for Rice, 70 million for Caicedo, or maybe a little bit more, 170 million with another 80 million to pay with. I'm sorry. You can go get your Cancelo and the extra little bit that you need and still sell and make a good amount of net profit out of that regardless. And I think it's very possible that it can happen.
It is possible. It is possible. Like I said, I think Arsenal fans have been saying for years, it's a big window. This one's the biggest window because we're back in the Champions League and there's some areas that they, particularly centrally, we've bought players, Savva, but it's just they've not been good buys, or they've felt that they don't need to because they've got experience or covering El Neni and Xhaka can play in there. But obviously Xhaka's going now. El Neni's there for probably like another year. But Arsenal, in terms of Thomas Partey's injury record since he's come to England, really, we can't trust him. I'm surprised he played as many games he did last season, to be honest. But Arsenal need to listen. As long as Arsenal fans see that they're actually trying to go and get these guys and be aggressive with it as well. Because Arsenal, for me, they're a bit too slow when it comes to transfer market. That's one of the biggest issues Arsenal fans have said. Be a little bit more aggressive. If you don't get the guys, you don't get them. That's fine, but at least try and make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, somebody's just pointed out that Kante has joined the same team as Benzema.
Yeah, Benzema. Guess how much? You know what he's on a year?
Yeah, 100 million as well.
No, isn't 200 million a year.
200.
He's on 200 million a year, and he signed a 3-year deal as well, by the way.
So they've just spent 300 million a year getting those two players into the club. If you were one of the other players in that team, right? If you're one of the other players, are you not looking around at these guys going, you better get hat tricks every single, like, you better win us this league hands down by Christmas, because this is mental money, isn't it?
It's not even about that, Savva. It's not even about winning the league. They're doing all that as it's just like a way to promote football in Saudi Arabia and just to make money back.
No, but you know the reason why they're doing it? Because they want to host the World Cup, Saudi Arabia.
And
so they want to host the World Cup, so they're doing it. And I don't know if any of you saw, just to sort of talk about this sort of thing, that 5 teams are now owned by the people that own Newcastle. So the 5 best teams in Saudi Arabia are all owned by the same people.
Just quickly, by the way, Kaz, I think you're on mute, or you're not. You're talking to Dabs. This picture, if anyone has noticed, that is me in the middle of the picture with a West Ham shirt on.
Oh my God.
This is on a rooftop bar in Southampton on my stag do, with these two horrible West Ham fans. Thanks, Sam, for making that your picture.
Go Fiorentina.
Oh, absolutely.
Why are you doing the hammers?
Because I had to do all these different things for my stag do, like things that I had to tick off the list. One of them, I had to wear that West Ham shirt all day. And then just
ever noticed that.
I'm so glad that nobody ever wants to marry me. That's just the best thing in life. I love being unattractive. It's fantastic.
No, you're attractive to us. You're attractive to us. Guys, I want to talk about another midfielder that has gone in the last 2 days. I mean, he's had his medical today. Alexis McAllister to Liverpool at what, 40? I think they're talking it's between 40 and 45 million, which in this day and age is absolutely mental. World Cup winner, really good player. Good signing for Liverpool. Good part of their midfield rebuild, so to speak. Anyone jealous?
Oh, what a player! It's just a really good buy for Liverpool. Be honest, if I'm honest, I think we'd be. Yeah. If we're gonna talk about, that's a really good buy. That's just what they need at the moment.
That puts into perspective the Mason Mount money and some of the other money, because I think 45 million for him is a World Cup winner. You know, he's a real good big game player. I think that's the best signing so far. That is, I would agree with Bertie on that.
Yeah, I mean, what do you make of it, Kaz? McAllister going to Liverpool, 45 million. For me, that seemed like that. No one else seemed to come in for him. Like, I'm surprised City didn't or United. Are you confused as to why not?
Guys, I'm going to drop off. Thanks for having. Sorry, Kaz.
Elder Staffy, thanks so much, dude. I'll speak to you soon, mate. Take care, mate.
All the best, Staffy.
I'm not too sure what witchcraft they got going over Liverpool right now, but it's actually so annoying. It's good. They're going to get more midfielders around him, which makes it even more annoying. I just don't understand how another club hasn't got in there. What has Liverpool known that nobody else has known? Everyone thought they're going to quote around so and so money. I'm pretty sure the deal with McAllister's come across that for him re-signing the deal is, I think it was more along the line, say, okay, you'll stay with us till the end of the season since your contract was going to run out. Sign another and we'll literally let you go for so and so money if it hits. And then he probably picked the club that he wanted to, and that was probably Liverpool. They probably sold him a dream, saying I think Liverpool said you're going to be the guy. We're going to build a team around you. You're literally going to be the marquee of what we're going to do, and then we'll do that. And then they probably sold him the project like that. And of course, he's not going to say no to Klopp and Liverpool, and they still got the pool regardless of Europa or not. And then man, it's not going to stop there with Liverpool. They're looking like they might be a force next season.
Yeah,
but off the back of that, sorry, Perchi. Like, it'd be interesting to see in terms of how that deal came about, in terms of when the first approach was made, when the first contact was made, how long's it been going on? Because it's sort of similar to when we bought Jesus. That deal was in the pipeline a lot longer than what I actually thought at the time. So it'd be interesting to find out how that kind of started and how he's gone. They still got a pool, like Cass said. Sorry, Perchi, man.
No, I was just going to say, do you know what? The one team that is going to be all right in this, it remotely will be Brighton. This happens all the time. Like, they're going to lose. They're potentially going to lose two of their best players, but we all know that someone else is just going to turn up. That some AI generated player that's just going to turn up from the Peruvian second division, and he just ends up becoming a masterclass at attacking midfield. Like, it's just what Brighton do, and it's amazing what they do. They just seem to lose players, and then
it's Tony Bloom's whiteboard in his office, Perchi. What Brighton seem to do, they're like one step ahead of the game. They're like a really good chess player. They know the moves that are coming ahead. So Bloomy will have sat in his office with the Brighton people, and he said, "Look, we're probably going to lose Caicedo. We are going to lose McAllister. What do we do now about what's going to come along?" And I think that's where Brighton have been so much better pretty much than everybody else, right? Brentford are probably the next best after them. They always seem to have some kind of contingency in place. And I think Bloom is a brilliant owner, and you're probably right about Brighton. They lost Graham Potter, and I thought, oh God, they're going to miss Graham Potter, and I was totally wrong. They fetched in De Zerbi from, I think, Sassuolo or whatever, and he's actually improved Brighton, which I never thought I'd be seeing. You know what I mean? So I think Brighton, you're right. Brighton will toddle along nicely. The only thing with Brighton is they're going to have to deal with Thursday nights. Now that's going to be a big challenge for them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Of course it is.
That's why I think they can afford it. They can afford to get the depth now. They've had them.
Yeah.
You think already as well. Dave. They've gone out and got Milner and Dahoud, who are both experienced European footballers. Do you know what I mean? Dahoud's played multiple times at Dortmund, and James Milner's played for the last 40 years or whatever he has. You know what I mean?
To back up your point, mate, it's how quickly Brighton move to get it done. They don't piss about.
Agreed.
Right. Liverpool have struck early for McAllister. I actually think sometimes, you know, with us last year, it was happening, but it was just so chaotic and stupid.
Scattergun.
You know, I think getting it done early so you can get it, you know, ideally, if Forest's going to sign anybody, looking from my point of view, I'd like them all in before the end of June. Right, and then we can get a proper, you know, close season friendlies and get settled, right? And I just think Brighton was signing, whether he's going to play or not, I don't know. João Pedro from Watford, right? They had him before the season had finished.
Yeah,
and Milner as well. And somebody at Brighton, the cleverest man in football in this country at the moment, pound for pound, is the guy at Brighton who can find Buonanotte, he can find Enciso, he can find Mitoma.
I was going to say Enciso. Enciso is the next one, isn't he?
Last year, by the way, he was signed not just this season. He was signed a couple of years ago.
Who?
Matoma, believe it or not, he just went on loan.
Yeah, because of the work permit rules in the UK, is basically he couldn't get a work permit, so they had to loan him to a European club, or so they had to do certain things basically to do it. So like that's what they do. So what they do is they highlight these players and let them get first team experience in Europe. They have a feeder club in Belgium which they use, and that's that their model is brilliant. Like I genuinely like if you sit down and study their model, it's incredible. They're like they're three transfer windows ahead of everybody else.
They are.
So, like the likes of like that Kaicedo, they didn't sign him recently. I think they signed him, but then let him stay on loan for a year and a half or something.
Yeah,
they did the same with that Dennis Undav. He was on loan at their feeder club. He's another one, but they just find these players constantly. And the thing is you just know they're going to go and find the next one. But just to touch on your point, just to touch on what Dave's point was about the selling early. It's what I want Spurs to do with Harry Kane. If he's going to go, I don't want Harry Kane by the 1st of September, still unsure if he's going to go to Real Madrid. If he's going to go to Real Madrid, I want it done straight away.
Yeah, you want him to put up or shut up, don't you, really?
Just before you get into the Kane Madrid conversation, because I know this is going to be fiery, because it could go to Man United as well, and they'll probably try some sort of swap deal with Maguire. Just quickly, Phil P said Ange is winding up Slabhead for his holiday rampage. Phil loves it, doesn't he? Absolutely loves it, Phil P. And he's come back in again and said Maguire as the Spurs cockerel mascot.
It's the emphasis on cock there. I think it is, isn't it?
I think it might have been. Look, I want to talk about the Harry Kane thing. Is just absolutely ridiculous, depending on who you speak to. And this conversation is just going to go on and on and on and on and on, guys. But look, there's a few ways of looking at this now, right? I don't think it was in imminent danger of Harry Kane moving without Benzema going out to Saudi Arabia, where
Saudi
he's
Arabia.
gone, right? Saudi Arabia. Realistically, guys, who else they put in? Who else they going for?
Who?
Real Madrid. Who else they going to bid for other than Harry Kane in world football to make a statement as a centre forward? Are they going? I mean, they could go for an up and comer like Gonzalo Ramos. They could go for a Højlund, but
Osimhen maybe.
That's only one, yeah.
But let's be honest.
But can Osimhen do what Kane does?
No.
I'm not being biased. Osimhen can't play the way Kane plays, can he?
Yeah, but it depends what the kind of play. If you're thinking like for Benzema, then you're kind of thinking the best thing close to Benzema is Harry Kane.
Yep.
Yeah, agreed.
Does anyone think he'll go? Does anyone think he'll be a Madrid player this window?
Yeah, I think he'll go and he'll secure the financial futures of his daughters and the baby on the way. I think he'll go, and I think he doesn't know Tottenham. You know, he doesn't know Tottenham anything. Tottenham owe him more than he owes them. I think he'll go and do it. I think, like Cass says, he's just, you know, Benzema out, Kane in. It just seems like the most natural thing in the world.
Yeah,
and I think Harry Kane will want to be able to tell them little girls growing up that he followed in the footsteps of Alfredo Di Stefano and all those great Real Madrid centre forwards. Exactly. I think he goes, Harry. I think Tottenham need a complete reset, and I think Harry going will allow Tottenham
allows you to do it. Yeah. Right, we'll come on to that in a minute. Just before we do, just quickly, what popping be? No one was hyping it up. What I actually said was, and again, two of these what popping be, and one of these is that they've bought players in that have European experience. I never said they were the best signings ever, but if they're going into their first European campaign and you look across and you've seen James Milner, who's been there, seen it, done it, won it, right? Who can settle down the other players. This is what to expect. This is what's going to go on. And Dahoud, all right, he's played 8 games this season. He's an experienced European footballer. Stop taking everything someone says about a player as though I'm saying that they're messy, right? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you need experience in a dressing room. Yeah, I mean that's the key thing, Dave, is when you speak to Spurs fans, and even in our WhatsApp group, Perchy, and I'm sure some of them are watching, you talk about, listen, would you take 110 million for Kane, 100 million for Kane this window, or let him go for free? So many are like, I'll let him go for free. And it's like, what? You're like, what? How? Why?
That's
why
madness.
would you start a new era with this new manager, with a player that's going to be here for 1 year and then buggering off? Like, it makes no sense. If you don't want to be here, go.
But people seriously say that in your chat.
Perchy.
Wow.
So there are people who support them, Tottenham Hotspur, who would rather have nothing than £110 million.
But
to keep him for 1 year.
But listen, do you know what it is? And Savva, you obviously know we've had this conversation we had this conversation in the group chat, and I think this has got. It sounds funny about if we want him to stay or not. I'll be honest, mate, it's actually irrelevant. I think this falls all down on one man, and that's Harry Kane. Because it does, though. Because it does. It falls on him. And people Spurs fans do not want to hear this. But if Harry Kane does not go to Real Madrid, I'm sorry, you've got to question the man.
Okay, hang on, caveat that. What you're talking about is if Real Madrid bid and Levy accepts and he rejects it.
Yeah, not about if we reject it and stuff like that. But my point being is I don't think Daniel Levy can afford to not accept a bid if it's over a certain threshold. For example, like they're saying that they're going to go in at 80 million euros. I think it's probably going to be a bit higher. Listen, this is a Real Madrid that paid 120 million pounds for Eden Hazard, 1 year left on his contract. This was also the same Real Madrid that offered 200 million euros for Kylian Mbappe, who had 1 year left on his contract. Let's not go crazy here. Real Madrid do this stuff when people go, oh yeah, but he's only got 1 year left. Real Madrid don't care about that. Real Madrid, if they want a player that badly, they will. Yeah. And Harry Kane at the moment is I'm not going to say he's the only player they can get, but he's the only player of the standard that Real Madrid expect that is available within ease. They're not going to go and get Lewandowski because there's Barcelona and Real Madrid do not do business, and when they do, it's very, very rare.
Well, watch their future lineups. Literally going to be Kylian Mbappe, Vinicius, and Kane. Watch. No, next and it's the start of next season. Not the season, the season after. Watch. That's going to be the lineup, and that's going to be the deadliest thing you've seen.
What you think this season they're going to get Mbappe as well?
No,
you mean the following? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you're right, Gaz.
Down a little bit.
You're right.
But deadliest shit.
Of course, but this is the thing.
Perfect for Kane as well. He's just going to get assists.
Of course it is. Like, listen, let's be frank and honest. Because the excuses that get made about Harry Kane from Spurs fans, and there's some in the chat have said it. Oh, but he's got a family in the UK. What about all the players that we sign from foreign countries and bring them here? They've all got families. They've got to jump ship and move to England. Why can't he do it the other way?
Yeah, and Gareth Bale's telling him about all the beautiful golf courses in Spain, isn't he?
His mate Luka Modric is just telling him after basically winning everything at Real Madrid. Like, come on. Like,
true. And he wants a medal. The lad's not got a medal, has he?
And I'm sorry, when I hear the nonsense about the goal scoring record,
that's not a reason to stay.
A goal scoring record that can be broken by somebody else that would potentially could end up getting broken by Erling Haaland probably 2 or 3 years after him. Does that make sense? The way that Haaland's scoring, do you know what I mean? I'm not saying that he's going to stay at Man City for the rest of his career, but you know what I'm saying.
Awful, man. When it comes to football negotiation, businesses and everything, he's just awful, man. I'll be honest. When it comes to every commercial side of things, Levy's great.
Oh, Levy.
But when it comes to the football side of things, the guy is flipping tin pot stupid as shit.
Well, yes, he is. But the one thing he is, though, and this is the one point I will say, and this is where everyone goes, "Oh, you're defending Daniel Levy," because I'm not. What we end up doing, we do end up getting the right price for some players.
You do.
Look at we pushed for the likes of Gareth Bale and got 80 million quid at the time, which at the time was a crazy amount of money for an individual. World record fee, if I'm right at the time.
I think it was second to
Or
Ronaldo.
was it second?
Like 86 million.
Didn't he reject like 40 million or something like for Harry Winks, a player like that, or the 100 million or something like that?
I mean,
think
the ones that we did turn down were like the Dele Allis to Real Madrid that should have happened.
Oh my word!
At the time, well, I think it at the time was 70 million quid for. I mean, should have snapped your hand off or whatever it was. But my point being is this: Daniel Levy's in a situation now where he has to make a decision, and the decision's got to be made based on what Harry Kane says. If Harry Kane says by insert this day, I'm not signing a new contract, he has to sell him. The football club is more. However much as Spurs fans we love Harry Kane. He came through our academy. He's Mr. Tottenham.
Nobody's bigger than the club.
The football club is bigger than Harry Kane.
Yeah.
100 million quid for a new manager, by the way, it could be massively important
It's a good start. Yeah, 100%.
for our development.
Yeah.
And
Tottenham have been going round this boy for ages. And they're going nowhere, Tottenham. They're just going round in circles. The same conversation about Levy, the same conversation about the stadium, the same conversation about not winning any trophies, the same conversation about we won the League Cup in 2008, right? When are Tottenham going to get off this conveyor belt that just goes round and round and goes nowhere? Yeah. And they're going to have to do something, no pain, no gain. And they're going to have to say, I'm sorry, Harry, but go to Madrid, mate. Go and get yourself a medal. Take your missus and the kids. Go and live that life. You owe us nothing. I when I went to Tottenham Hotspur, that stadium is an incredible piece of civil engineering. And I said to somebody, built on Harry Kane's goals. Because you take Harry Kane's goals out of Tottenham the last few years, and there's not a lot left, right? And I'm not being awful to Tottenham, right? So I think Harry Kane, if I'm Ange Postecoglou, right, and I'm sitting down talking with Levy, and he says, right, Ange, look, let's get the 110 million in for Harry Kane, who's in his 30s. Let him go off and do what he needs to do because he owes us nothing. Let's build a new team. Even if it takes 2 or 3 years. Because at the moment, these Tottenham supporters do, I want a trophy in 10 minutes. Keep waiting, mate. You know what I mean? It's not going to happen overnight. And the big problem for Tottenham supporters is they've got to get out of this mode of thinking where they're on a level with Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Manchester City, and these other. They're not there. They didn't even qualify for Champions. Brighton and Villa are bigger than they are.
Just quickly, Kaz needs to drop. So, Kaz, thank you very much. I'm just going to go for another 5-10 minutes. So, Kaz, thanks very much, mate. Appreciated. And just make sure you go and tuck Daps in for us and make sure he's all right.
He's actually listening.
Likely, lads.
Daps.
Take him a water.
You can
City and United in the same house. I just think that
I know.
Peace in the world. Peace in the world is possible. Bless you, Kat.
Because you know it is. It's like you look beyond football and look at a human being rather than just football.
Oh, that's very sweet.
Well said.
Very sweet.
I'm just saying, there's some people in you boys' family that probably support the opposite team.
No Derby fans in my family, mate.
Some of your kids probably support flipping, I don't know, Tottenham or Arsenal or something like that. And you're like,
not where I live, Cass, mate. No, definitely not. Territory, mate.
Anyway, Kaz, you sleep well, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.
Sweet.
Take care,
see you, mate. Take care. Guys, just last 5 minutes. I just want to talk with regards to Kane. For me, the question is, if Kane goes, does Son go as well? And you just have a complete reset?
I would.
Complete reset.
I think Son and Postecoglou, I think they could tally quite well, actually.
See, I'm not sure. I think if Son plays through the middle for Postecoglou, yes. I think if he plays out wide in terms of a manager that likes to play, likes to have good link-up play, and his players, that come inside and join in, I don't know if that's Son. But look, more important than the Son, can can any of you see Kane going anywhere else other than Madrid? Obviously, Madrid's the one right now, right, because of the Benzema situation. Are we just completely discounting anyone else now because of Real Madrid's situation?
I think you can't write off the likes of Man United, but I think if that was going to happen with the stuff that happened with Real Madrid coming out, you would have thought there would have been talks of Man United are still in the conversation, but that seems to have gone very quiet.
Yeah.
It seems to be Kane wants to go to Real Madrid. You're seeing a lot of that come through. That Kane is open to going to Real Madrid. You're not seeing any talk of Man United in that link up at the moment, and maybe that will change down the line if Real Madrid. But I just sit and think and go, maybe Man United have just gone, do you know what, and stepped away and gone, do you know what? Because it looks like they want that young lad that's at Atalanta. I think it's a Danish lad. Højlund, that's the one. And they want to go down that route, which is fine. But I just think at the moment, I think Kane to Real Madrid right now, do you know when we always go, it's just a no-brainer? It's a no-brainer. And if we took a Spurs hat and all Spurs fans are getting emotional because they're could lose the player that's been at the club for so long. But you took it on and go, Real Madrid need a world-class striker. There's a world-class striker at a team at the moment that finished 8th, that are outside of Europe, that are at the moment starting again. 1 year left on his contract. It just makes perfect sense in football terms. It doesn't make any sense. And when people say, "Oh no, Kane won't do it. Kane won't go to Real Madrid," I'm sorry.
Real Madrid's a different call, man.
Real Madrid.
Absolutely, Albert.
Knock on the door, man.
I thought United were a credible option a couple of months back. But once I was watching Benzema leaving today, and I just kind of think, Benzema's doors is shut and the door for Harry Kane opens, and I just think, if I was Harry's brother, right, and I'm trying to empathise with Harry Kane, right, I'd say to him, mate, go be the next Di Stefano, even if it's only for a year or 2 years. And then, and like Kaz said, and Kaz made a really good point. He said, you know what, Harry, in a year or so's time, you might be up front with Kylian Mbappe. He can do all your running for you, So I think for Harry Kane, I thought last year he was going to go to City, but then City trumped that with a brilliant move, as it's proved to be. Although not everybody saw that coming. And then I thought to myself, well, he looks like he would fit with United, but now I just think, like you say, Perchy, it's a no-brainer.
He would be a perfect fit for Madrid, man.
He would. He would.
It's not even just from Madrid calling. He's a perfect fit.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, especially the way his game has evolved. He's not a pure centre forward anymore. I've watched him. I've seen Harry Kane play 3 times this year, and he's as good a player linking up, dropping deep, and linking in midfield.
He's superb.
He's brilliant.
It's incredible.
He's superb.
He's got better, I think.
Just quickly, I'm going to wrap up the show in a couple of minutes. Just before I do, I'm stuck on 5,594. Can I get 6 more subs before this show closes to get to 5,600? And that will be nearly 200 subs in 24 hours. So I'll be very, very grateful. If anyone can, please go and sub to Albert JTV and please sub to the Perchy TV as well. Just quickly, the results of the poll. So I asked 165 people voted. For where will Moises Caicedo end up, and the options were United, Arsenal, and Chelsea. It was United with 24%, Chelsea with 35%, and Arsenal with 42%. Oh, wow! So lots of people feel that he's going to
Albert.
I mean, that would be interesting for me if they got Caicedo but not Rice, because obviously Rice has been the one touted about. But hey, just quickly on this point, Neil Gunner said, Savva, when do you want this settled by as a Spurs fan? Because this is going to drag on. I feel Harry waiting on United. Don't think Kane's sure. Look, I think, like touching on Perchy's point earlier, I think for me, I don't speak for all Spurs fans. I just speak for myself. As a fan of the club, not a fan of Harry Kane, if that makes sense. I will still support Spurs when he leaves. I would want it wrapped up early, right? So that you can say, okay, this is what we now need to do. We now need to find a new way to play up front. Does that mean we buy 3 players or 2 players that play with Son, or do we buy centre forward? Do we not? Do we buy playmaker? But
Savva,
Spurs
in a similar way, Savva, you take Celtic's position. Celtic are just losing a guy that they desperately didn't want to lose, but they've done it quickly. Celtic have. He won the cup Saturday tea time, and Celtic have said, "Look, Ange, if that's what you want to do, we need to know quickly." Yeah, they've moved fast.
And we'll get someone in immediately.
Yeah, and so like the Celtic fans, if you'd have seen them in Hampden Park on Saturday, they desperately did not want to lose that guy. But they all know that Celtic Football Club is bigger than Ange or bigger than Brendan Rodgers or bigger than Jock Stein or whoever has managed it. So they've moved quickly. And I think Tottenham, I agree with you, Sav, looking from the outside, get it sorted. You don't want it hanging around until August and September.
No.
Because that's going to be...
They've got to do one of three things for me in the next month. They've got to come out and say, Harry Kane has signed a new 4 or 5 year contract. Right? Yeah. They've got to come out and say, Harry Kane is going to run down his contract and he will be leaving next summer on a free, which I think will, for me, that will make me really think, what are we doing here?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Or they've got to turn around and go, Harry Kane is leaving and go into Real Madrid or whatever it may be. But it needs to be done quickly. Just last thing I want to talk about really quickly. It feels to me that this is Spurs fans more than anything. I've never seen anyone talk about a goal record as much as Spurs fans talk about this goal record for Harry Kane. Honestly, I haven't. I just feel like Spurs fans are overinflating the importance of being top goal scorer versus actually achieving real things in your career. And when I say real things, I mean, it's a team game. You know, am I the only one that thinks that? I mean, I keep seeing people saying, "Oh, but the goal record," and
I don't get it.
You know, I don't get it.
No,
it just shows you how little the Tottenham supporters, they're a great bunch, and they've suffered a lot, right? They're a massive fan base, but it just shows how little they've got to hold on to. I mean, I think the big talking point for this season was like Harry Kane breaking Greaves' record and all this kind of stuff. Not like, I watched them go out of the Carabao Cup at Forest, and Forest dominated them that night. Lingard was the best player on the field.
Yeah.
And I looked at Tottenham. Okay, some of them will have been looking towards Qatar because it was like the week before they went to the World Cup. But I looked at Tottenham Hotspur and I thought, you're a gigantic club. You should be murdering us. And I just think, when you're talking about one individual, it says that there's, basically, I got a little bit fed up with the Tottenham talk. It's either all about Harry Kane or it's all about Daniel Levy. Talk about the whole club. You need to be a club again. You need to be a club again, right? Arsenal are going that way towards being a club again after so many years of talking about Wenger or Xhaka or whatever.
Yeah.
So you've got to be a club. Steve Cooper, right, in our smaller pond, has brought the whole of Nottingham Forest together, apart from John Joe Shelby, we'll forget him, but the whole of Nottingham Forest and the city and the fan base was totally united behind Steve Cooper. He's brought us all together. I feel like, as a Forest fan, for the first time in 2 decades, we are a club rather than like talking about one individual or talking about Brian Clough or talking about something else. Do you know what I mean? And I think Tottenham need to stop talking about bloody Daniel Levy and stop talking about Harry. Because Harry owes them nothing, right? He's done his work, Harry has. He's carried them, right? And they need to start being an institution and a family again. And that's the word, right? About Forest. I saw at Crystal Palace what our club means to so many people and the atmosphere. It was a family. When we beat Arsenal, Albert, it was a family day for Forest and a family. And Tottenham need to be a family again. When they were a great side in the 60s, Tottenham were a family built around Mackay, Blanchflower, Greaves, those great players they had, Gilzean, Jimmy Robertson, those great players. Tottenham need to get back to that.
Spurs fans don't seem to want to move on. Like in our WhatsApp group earlier, Perchy, they're
going to have to. They're going to have to, Sav.
When we were talking, it was sort of like Perchy and I were saying, look, I'm quite happy happy is the wrong word. I'm content if Son and Kane went now. We've had them for 8-9 seasons together. We've seen it. We've not made the most of it. We've never built around it. Let's now evolve as a club.
Yeah.
You say that to Spurs. Hang on, Dave. 1 sec. You say that to Spurs fans, and although Kane, Son, they've got more to give. Now let's try and build around them. Then I said, okay, what about you want Kulusevski as well to stay, right? Yeah, we want to sign Kulusevski, right? Okay, so straight away we want nothing to change in the forward area under this manager, right?
Yeah,
it's like
makes no sense.
Where's your academy, Sam? Where is Tottenham's academy, mate?
But there's no evolving. There's no, listen. I've
Evolve or die.
I've loved Kane and Son at Spurs, but I'll be honest, I've become a bit bored of the duo. Kane, I love. Sonny, I think, has obviously dropped off a cliff. I think other clubs now as well. I don't think it's as dangerous as it once was. Obviously, Kane on his own is dangerous, but for me, I just feel.
I get Savva. The thing is I think just to sort of roll on that, what you're saying, I think the problem is as a fan base, and I'll talk it as a fan base here, we're so scared of the unknown. We're completely terrified of, oh my God, how are we going to live without Harry Kane? How are we going to live without Heung-min Son?
To get over that.
Yeah. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
If it's not this season, it may be next season. It may be the season after that, and then Son goes.
It's going to happen at some point.
It's going to happen at some point. Why can't we just have a moment where we go, do you know what? Now, this is what I said. Yeah. If £70 million comes on the table for Heung-min Son, how can you not accept that? How can you not? A 31-year-old with
can I just say sorry? I don't know what this means. No one's a superior Spurs fan. I don't know what that means. No one's just a superior Spurs fan.
It's all having an opinion.
And this makes me laugh. This makes me laugh. You can tell the bit that's going to piss me off here. I see Ange as someone who galvanised the team up until a point and nothing more. Stop wasting time. Savva, you're better than this. Respectfully, this is madness. Sorry. Isn't what you've said in your first sentence exactly what this club needs?
Yeah.
Someone to galvanise the team. Now, stop wasting your time. I don't know what that means. You're better than this. What am I better than? I support the club I support. We are who we are. We are where we are. What does this mean? Like this guy messaged me earlier in my chat as well and was saying something about Postecoglou and me being better and why don't I protest? Jolien, I've said before, I'm not going to protest because it's not going to get the owners out. They own a £4 billion business. And thank you for this. I will definitely put this towards the 24-hour stream. That's not a problem. But I just, Jolien, the one thing I can't listen, I love the money for the charity. Thank you. But one thing I can't get behind is the bottom sentence. Demand the very best and keep going. Listen.
Name a name, Jolien. Name a name, mate. Come on, let's have it. I bet you want. He'll say, "I want Pep Guardiola." Do me a favour, mate. What are you going to get? Klopp? Are you? You're going to get Ancelotti? Who are you going to get?
But hang on. The key thing is here. The key thing is right.
Get real. You're an 8th best team in this country. No European football, mate.
This is the problem, Jolien. I keep seeing fans say, Savva demand the best, because I think we can't buy Vardiol. Savva demand the best because I can see why Nagelsmann would join PSG over Spurs. Sometimes there is a pecking order of things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, there's a food chain, of course.
To get up that food chain, to get up that pecking order, you have to earn the right to be there. You have to run the club properly. Now, the problem is, Jolien, hang on, Dave, I know you're desperate to get in, but when I go on a rant, I need to rant, right?
Go on, Sav.
The problem is, it's not Football Manager. So when we talk about...
Exactly.
When we're talking about getting to the pinnacle, you don't just get there by one summer going, let's buy 6-7 top players. They're all going to come and we're brilliant. The clubs that have all done it have all built an underbelly. Yeah? They've all built an underbelly. Look at Man City. Yes, Man City spend big on signings, but actually even not massive signings all the time.
No.
But what they've done is behind that, they've built an academy.
Yeah.
They've built a pathway from the academy through. All of the age groups play the same style. They've built it, right? Look at all the way all the big clubs have done it. You don't turn into a big club overnight that demands top managers. And my last point is this. All these Spurs fans saying they want a top manager. Have we not learned from Jose and Conte in the last 2 years?
I asked this to Tottenham fan. This is the same question I asked. Who do you want?
Spot on, Savva.
Albert, I've been saying this for months. Spurs fans don't know what they want. 1 minute, it's, oh my God, Brighton are amazing. Why can't we do that? Why can't we act like Brighton and be organised, getting proper signings for an absolute ethos and how we're going to play? Everyone's going, yeah, I'd love the idea of that. We bring in Postecoglou, who is literally the antithesis of that. Brighton wanted him instead of De Zerbi, by the way. But he said he didn't want to leave Celtic mid-season, so he didn't go. They got in De Zerbi. we now bring in Postecoglou, and everyone goes, we should be getting a better manager.
Yeah.
We don't have the right to get a better manager. We don't have the right to go and get in an elite football manager. What?
It's because he's Australian and from Scotland, Perchy. We're back to the snobbery, mate. Oh, we're Tottenham Hotspur. We want the absolute best. Well, work and earn it. And I'll tell you, if Postecoglou had not accepted it, who's the next one? Because I looked at Tottenham Hotspur and everybody seemed to, I'm not going there. I'm not working for Levy.
Dave,
and Postecoglou is brave to take it on.
But Dave, I said this earlier. If Postecoglou had gone to Crystal Palace, and got them European football next season, because they're needing a manager, every single Spurs fan would be going, oh my God, we need to get him in as our new manager.
True.
He's got to be our next manager.
It's true.
Yeah, look at Frank. Look at De Zerbi. Everyone wants them now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Look, what I will say is this, just quickly. Listen, hate with a Glazer. You're always in it. You're really, really good. But please leave Ben alone. Ben is my main moderator. And he was asking you not to talk about politics and Palestine in the chat. I am with him 100%. I back him. I do not want my chat filled with political talk. I don't care for it. It's not my bag. That's not why we're here. I don't want people talking about that sort of stuff.
Guys, come on.
Yeah.
Football.
So please do not have a pop at Ben. Ben does a wonderful job. And the last thing I want to say, because I do want to end the show, Spurs, you don't have to watch. Go away. Go away. It's so boring. Like, stop patronising Spurs fans like you aren't one. I mean, I am one. I agree. And you almighty YouTubers claim I'm a fool. Yeah, you are. You're an idiot. Sorry, I can't stand it. I can't stand it.
Listen, even as an Arsenal fan, mate, I see it all the time. Even like what Perchy and Dave were saying, I even take it back to perfect example, Declan Rice, right? Even before the Arsenal links, by the way, you speak to most Arsenal fans, admiring, brilliant, great progression at West Ham. For England's been excellent.
Yeah.
Now we're linked with him. There's reservations, and I said to some Arsenal fans, I said, look, listen, go back and watch the quarterfinal in the World Cup. Declan Rice's performance against France.
I know who this is.
It was completely different. It was different league. Like I generally don't understand it as football fans. Sometimes is what are you seeing? What's the reservation? I don't understand it. And the thing with Declan Rice is he's playing in the league.
Yeah, mate, it's madness. Listen, I wouldn't mind, right? But what's happened is we've had one season where we made a Champions League final and everyone thinks we're this great big team. And the problem is, as I said, you've got to earn that right. For me, as I've said, and fans can't wrap, not all fans. By the way, when I say things like that, please stop saying, oh, not all fans. Yes, not all fans. But lots of fans can't wrap their head around. You can't just win. You've got to build some building blocks. Then you go from there to there, there to there. We've never done that. What we did, we brought in Jose and Conte, and fans automatically equated world-class manager with world-class performance. It doesn't matter. They need the top players. Everyone does, right? Look, I am
Harry Kane is the plasterboard over the cracks in the wall, right? I'm telling you. And I'll tell you what about supports. We had it within the Forest fan base where there were the Cooper outs and all this kind of stuff. And I'm thinking, no, just hold your resolve and keep your patience and all this kind of stuff. And then they're all like, the Cooper outs are all like, best manager we've ever had, because at the time they couldn't come up with an alternative. Yeah, we were saying, you want. I was saying, come down to the City ground and sing Cooper out, and nobody did. Go to an away game and sing Cooper out, and they never did. Right. So if you want Tottenham Hotspur, I look at Tottenham Hotspur, right, and I just think, where are your young players coming from?
There's no identity, Dave.
We have no idea.
Exactly. It's spot on. Harry Kane has masked everything. If you took Harry Kane away from Tottenham, they might even be a relegation candidate over the last 4 or 5 years.
What I love is this. I mean, like Jolien, I'll come to these 2 points, then I am going to stop the show. So your first comment to me is, I will come back to you all in a few years when Ange is sacked. Well, managers get sacked all the time from football clubs, and you are still 1-0. Yeah, I don't expect us to win anything in a few years. We're nowhere near it. I don't know what you mean. This club is so many years away from winning. It's unreal. Right? I really feel for you. I really do. This nightmare will never end. Spurs fans are the biggest issue. Well, listen, I mean, then it's you have to build. You're right, Savva. So how can you build with Enoch and Levy? You can't, dude. I can't make owners sell the club if they don't want to.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
can't.
that own
Right.
a
I
£4
need-
billion company.
I
The
need
same thing
I-
with the Cronkies, man. Listen,
But-
Yeah.
but
Control
thing
the
is-
controllables. You can't control who owns your football.
Hang on,
I can't
hang on,
control Marianakis.
Hang on, the point I'm making with this is it's very different at Spurs to other clubs as well. So you've said how difficult it is with your owners, Albert. Now think about it. Our owners, we're not just a football club, right? Our owners, if they're selling this club, they're selling concerts, they're selling boxing, they're selling NFL. If you believe, and I say this to everyone, I never knock any of the people that go and protest. You know this, Perchy. I never knock them. Fair play to them. They go and do it. They all know I won't go and stand up there and protest because you are protesting against a company that want maybe $4 billion to sell the club. And you think that they're going to turn around because a few hundred people are saying Enoch out and they're going to go, all right, forget what we've just spent 23 years building. Let's get rid of it.
Yeah,
it's business, right?
Yeah.
So for me, and I know I labour this point home. For me, I love this whole, can you build with Enoch and Levy? Well, at the same time, can we build with Enoch and Levy? We did build, but they didn't kick on. When we got to the point where we were second with Pochettino, how did we do that? We did that under Enoch and Levy. The really good team under Harry Redknapp that got to the Champions League quarterfinals, that was under Enoch and Levy. The problem is they don't kick on. But we can't. Anyway, look, I'm not going to keep going round and round.
I just wanted to. Can I just
hang on,
touch on my
Perchy,
last bit?
these people say this to me as though I'm Enoch and Levy in. I
Exactly.
don't get it. Like I hate them. I
But
don't know.
agreed. No, and Savva, and so do I. But this is just the final bit, just a sort of bit. When you say you have to build, so okay, listen, fine. Tottenham spend money. We spend money badly. Maybe by bringing in a Postecoglou who doesn't need to go and buy £80 million players, but he'd be okay to bring in a £10 million player or a £15 million player here, maybe a £20 million there. And then what we're doing is we're building a young squad with his ethos and ideology, and maybe we can build. Because this is the part I always say to people when everyone goes, you can't do it under Levy and Enoch. Well, you can. You just have to do it correctly. They're not going to go out there and spend £90 million players. We know that. Listen, we just accept it. We accept that. But you get the right person in.
Sorry, guys, this is what you deal with Spurs fans. Look at this. Look, I completely disagree with you that we don't have the right to have the best. We are Tottenham FC. We're a huge club. There are
What have you
bigger
won?
clubs.
How many trophies have you won?
Where
are your trophies? Come on, show me your trophies.
There are bigger clubs, H, than Spurs, and just because you want to demand the best doesn't mean the best want to come to us. This is the problem I keep saying.
Come look at Forest's trophy cabinet, mate. 2 Champions Leagues. Come and have a look sometime, mate.
If Spurs jumped into a race, for example, with Arsenal and Chelsea for Declan Rice, right? We don't stand a chance. But the problem is, fans like H, big up to you. I love you, man. But when you say things like this, why would that type of player join Tottenham? No one can ever give me an answer because there isn't one.
You won't get an answer. Exactly. That's the point.
Because they wouldn't, right? If we jumped in on the bids for Caicedo, for McAllister, for Declan Rice, these players are not joining Tottenham Hotspur. It is absolutely mad.
And that's exactly it. It's saying that we have a right to be after. No, for me, that's delusional. Like I know my place. I know my place in the food chain, in the pecking order. Right now, Spurs are 8th. We're not in Europe, so we're not gonna go and start attracting those elite players. We haven't attracted elite players. We didn't attract elite players when we were in the Champions League anyway. So why do people think that we're going to get these players from? But maybe what we're doing under Postecoglou is we're going down a different road that maybe could, over a period of time, turn out good.
Instead of guys, look, this is what we deal with, guys. Huh?
But these people are going to get a big reality check, aren't they? This delusion is massive. We had it for we were in the Championship for 23 years, and some of ours were like, we're Nottingham Forest, we won the European Cup. Yeah, before the dinosaurs even came along. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
it's like, get real.
H, if you're saying this, H, yeah, then please tell me. I'm waiting for somebody rationally, without just saying just bid for them. Why can Spurs just expect the best? Why is a club that doesn't win anything? Why would the Bastonis, the Vardials, the Declan Rices, the Nkunkus, all of these clubs, all of these players that go to the Chelseas and the Arsenals, the Man Uniteds and C's, why does anyone think they're coming to Tottenham Hotspur? It baffles me. It's common sense. But that's like Millwall. That's like Millwall, right? It's like Millwall saying, "Oh, well, why didn't we sign Ben Brereton Diaz when he left Blackburn?" well, because he's left to go to a bigger club. Like you're not. But we think we could buy any. Well, why do you?
Sav, you make such a good point. It's the same thing when Arsenal were at the Champions League. Some of these Arsenal fans, we need to go for Kalidou Koulibaly. I said, are you guys crazy? We're not getting that. We're not getting him. Like, think about what you're saying.
It's a bit like the Forest fans when he said, I said, let's go for Jesse Lingard. And everybody said, you're lunatic. And look what happened. But you're right.
But this is
See,
exactly
look, here we go. Sorry, I love.
Oh, not the pay the money.
Right.
What can Tottenham offer them?
Jay Yid, I always give this example. Jay Yid, I give this example. Pay the money and they'll come. It's very simple. Third most profitable sports enterprise in the world. First of all, was that EBITDA or was it profit? I bet you can't answer that, right? I bet you don't know what those two things mean. Second of all, right? Even if Spurs were the most profitable enterprise in the world, right? Now imagine I'm signing. Now imagine I'm the manager of I'm the owner of Tottenham Hotspur, and I want to go and sign Nkunku, right? Let's just say Nkunku. I go to Nkunku. I can't believe how many times I have to explain this to people that don't understand football. If I go to Nkunku's agent, because it would go through Nkunku's agent, it wouldn't go through his club. I go to Nkunku's agent and say, hi there, look, we're really interested in signing Nkunku. What's his interest in us? What's the situation at his current club? What would we have to pay? I know he's going to Chelsea on a free, but what would you have to pay? Blah, blah. And Nkunku's agent's going to take that back to Nkunku, and Nkunku's going to come back and say, I want bigger and better than Tottenham Hotspur. I want to go to one of Europe's elite. I don't want to join Tottenham Hotspur. So now the problem is, even if Spurs listened to that and then thought, we don't care, we're going to go and bid to his club. Even if the club accepted our £70 million bid, Nkunku's going to turn around and go, I don't want to go to Tottenham Hotspur. They're not attractive. So this whole pay the money, yes, if you're Man City, if you're Real Madrid and you're in a dogfight for a player, all of these clubs that are about to bid for Rice and Caicedo, it's going to be about pay the money. Now, this isn't just the transfer fee. This is the salary as well. This is the signing on fee. This is going to be bonuses. This is going to be, release clauses. But no, Jayid, just paying the money doesn't get every football club any player they want. It is so embarrassing when people say this. I'm sorry. It is so embarrassing.
I'll be honest, and I'm not here to be disrespectful, but you need to. In the real world, it's not like Football Manager and it's not like FIFA and stuff where you can just click on a few buttons and do that. It's not like that in real life. The real life is play, and this is what people think. And unfortunately, things like Football Manager and things like FIFA and stuff have kind of glossed over people how it works. I'm not saying that person plays it. I'm just asking the question, saying here, because what happens in real life is actually when people think just place a bid in. That's not how it works in real life. What happens is the clubs will have intermediaries that will speak to the agent, who will then go, look, we're interested in your player. Do you think there's a chance we can get you out of your club? Blah, 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 blah. They'll go, well, and then the agents will go, well, let's just use Tottenham as an example. So, well, what's going on with Harry Kane? It looks like your best player's leaving. And you've just brought in a manager right now that you've just lost out with Antonio Conte. What's happening here? And you've got now Postecoglou. Why don't people think about things back and think about it and go, why would, Nkunku was the example you used, why on earth would he go to Tottenham? What do we sell?
Here you go. Here's the reasons.
Hmm?
Here's the reasons why people join us ahead of Chelsea and Arsenal. Is because we have the most complete striker in England. We can pay high wages. We could have an upcoming PR. Right. Let me just dispel this myth. We have the most complete striker in England. So what? Other clubs have top players all over the park. We can pay high wages. Oh, funnily enough, so can all those other clubs. We could have an upcoming PR. Right. I'm going to end the show.
I think these guys are the wind up, man. I swear.
The irony is Chelsea and Arsenal offer higher wages than Spurs do.
Dave, it's April 1st, Dave. It is telling you.
It's got to be a wind up.
Look.
April's gone.
We could offer them a guaranteed starting spot. They wouldn't get a bigger club, something like that. At Football Throwdown mentioned, there's just potential reasons.
You've got.
Oh my God, this has got to be. Listen, I'm going to. I'm
Welcome
going to
to
end the
delusion.
show. I'm going to end the show, but just Albert and Dave. Welcome to you. You're seeing this is what Perchy and I contest with on a daily basis. Spurs fans that do not understand what Spurs are. Just pay the money.
Yeah.
Here we go. Look, here we go. Let's go to the next one. I have to slightly disagree. City and Chelsea went attracted years ago. Paid the money.
Years ago.
Paid the money and the players came. The top tier players are out of reach, but we should be able, right. Okay.
But City weren't buying the top tier players years ago.
Okay.
Years is the fucking word in there, right? When will people learn the English language, use it properly, construct a proper sentence, right?
Madness.
Years. It took years. You want it to happen in 10 minutes. Go and talk to Ange. He'll tell you it's not going to happen in 10 minutes. Rome will not be built in a day.
Can I say more than the word years? I am going to end the show right now, but more than the word years, right? More than the word years is City and Chelsea had billionaire owners that came in that didn't care about anything else other than winning.
Yeah.
Our owners won't do that. They've never done that. So when Man City came in, I remember one of the first big names they bought was Robinho, right?
Yeah.
They went out and went, Robinho, we'll have him as well, we'll have him as well, we'll have him as well. Players want to know what the project is, right? If I'm going to Tottenham, right, but if I'm going to Tottenham, the first thing I'm coming in as a player and saying is, sorry, talk me through this. You've just finished 8th. Right, Harry Kane's got 1 year left on his contract. Hugo Lloris has just finished as, you've had Jose and Conte. You've not won a trophy for 15, 16 years. Why am I picking you over Chelsea, Arsenal, Man United, City, Liverpool? And I'm going to end the show on, because Jay Yid said, just pay the money. That is.
I'm glad I support Forest and not Tottenham, honestly.
Yes, H.
Because there would be a project that would be
H. If we were purchased by the Qataris, then yes, your point is valid. Just pay what's needed, but we're not. Oh, right. Okay, guys, I'm really tired now. This is it's honestly, our fans are. Look, our fans are just.
I'm going to wind up, man.
It's almost true. You just what?
I can't explain anymore. We are not this big club that can sign top players. Please stop thinking that a stadium and wages will get. Oh, right. Listen, we're gonna leave it there. This time it is ending. I'm losing the will to live.
You brought me out my seat, Savva.
Honestly, any time I'm on a stream with Savva that's longer than 2 hours, I just feel like my head is exploding.
Honestly, I attract so many trolls. On the back of that, we are going to end the show. If two more people would like to subscribe, hang on. If 2 more people would like to subscribe, I will get to 5,600. Please go over and subscribe to the Perchy TV. Please subscribe to Albert J TV. Thank you very much. Please like the show before you leave. Albert, thank you so much. Thanks for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh, that's nice. Chef, Savva's like a 2-bob watch. Better than being a 1-bob watch, isn't it? I don't know. Dave, thank you very much. Thanks for coming on.
Very interesting insight into Tottenham Hotspur. I wish all of you and the family of Tottenham Hotspur the very, very best of luck, and we'll see you next season.
It's Perchy. I'll speak to you later, mate. Take care. And as always, here's a successful team.
And here comes Hurst. He's got some fiddler on the pitch. They think it's all over.
It is now.